Well, good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is Tubes Taylor, and this is the game of the year. This is the game I've been waiting for. I am joined in the Duff TV commentary box with my good friend, my great mate, Aaron Peach Roberts. He's made the trip down the Midland Highway, and Peach, we're up for a big game today.
Well, we certainly are, Tubes, and it is exciting being in the new van with you, within touching distance of your great self. And this game, a lot of chat in the media. I listened to Ben Beams on ABC Radio on Grandstand this morning talking about the game, trying to give a bit of a narrative what they're expecting today. And I got to say, it's 19 degrees at the moment, and we're seeing some women's games now. Got the big game coming up. And as you say, we are really excited to get the Duff crew. The team are back together. Martin Duffy on the camera and Jero on the pots and pans. We'll be kicking off soon for this massive clash.
I can tell you what, Peach, SFL versus Old Scholars is the game that we're up and about for today. And a beautiful day of football. That's the Old Scholars side that you can see there, playing in the white jerseys today. Very interesting side. I'll quickly go through the team lists if we've got them there, Jero. We haven't got them. I'll go through them. Harry Richmond, Claudel Corso, Michael Fisher, Adam Daft, Ian Callan, Jake Briggs, Sam Peacock, Brad Joseph, Brodie Langford, Alex Gilmore, Luke Adams, Lewis Franks, Alex Cook, Nathan Hardy, Trent Standen, Speedy's back, Cal Garvey, the big ruckman, Kobe Phillips is a jet, Blake Anderton, Dylan Grant, Luke Polanowski, the big ruckman, Chrissy Howard, and of course Caden Wilson is out there. And you've got the SFL team there, Peach.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of stars in this team. Luke Potter's one of those. Toby Cowan, one really underrated player from Signet. Braden Livingston. Callum Rawson gets the game today. Jordan Dunn, one of my favourites from over on the Eastern Shore from Dodge Ferry. Braden Barwick. Cameron Johns, another underrated player from down the Huon. Marty Allison, one of our favourites, Tubes Taylor. We love watching Marty play, and he nearly went to North Hobart, but he's still stayed with Clement. Great to see him today. Jim Narco from Sorrel. We love the movement of Jim Narco. One of the experienced players. Marcus Parker, Michael Casti, two of the key players you'd imagine will be taking lots of marks today for the Southern Football League. Jai County, Jake Murphy, Liam Azapati, the only player from Hobart getting represented here. Jai Bierman, Tommy Roberts will kick a bag, potentially Blair Wardlaw, a very cruisy player for New Norfolk. Theodore James, Daniel Blaisley, Jonathan Bullock, Jack Siggins, and one of our favourites on Duff TV, Ben Holton.
Big Ben Holton. Now, we caught up with the coaches a little earlier today, and a couple of the co-coaches. There's a few coaches for the Old Scholars. They've got about 7 coaches down there, but we caught up with Alex Gilmore and the coach, John Murray, from the SFL a little bit earlier. Let's take a look. All right, we're in here at the Old Scholars rooms with the co-coach, Rat Gilmore. Welcome, mate.
Thanks, mate. Good to be here. It's a good day for footy.
It's a great day for footy out there today. Very exciting to see an Old Scholars rep side together, mate. What's that mean for you?
Oh, it's huge. As we said this week, we're not. Nothing's guaranteed about when this game's going to happen again, or if it does. So, it's a good feel amongst the boys. We've trained a few times together. A little bit, a bit uneasy first off, because we're all rivals week in, week out. But the group's come together well, and it should be an exciting day.
And you've got buy-in from every club?
100%, yeah. Me, Beamer and Wingnut obviously put a squad together first off initially, and we've got every player that we wanted to play in this room today. So no one's backed out of playing.
And I know you're the coach of the Richmond side, but it must be exciting to have such a group of talented players to coach yourself.
We're just laughing about it before, that it'd be nice to have this side week in, week out, mate, to run out with you. But it's just good getting up close and personal with some blokes, as I say, that you go to war with week in, week out. They're your teammate for the day. It's just a great experience for a lot of these blokes in the room. Yeah.
Well, Rat, all the best today, mate. And I don't know, I've tipped you guys by about 5 points. I reckon it's going to be pretty tight. What do you think?
The heat will be on early in the game. The heat will be on, but I genuinely think that we've got a better overall list. A lot of good experienced players in here. Us by 5 or 6 goals.
Oh, there we go. Alex Gilmore with the prediction. Good on you, mate. All the best. Let's go and have a chat to the SFL boys. John Murray here from the SFL. You're coaching for your second time, mate. A bit more buy-in, though, this year.
Yeah, mate, we've got a lot of redemption to make up. The buy-in last year probably wasn't up to the level of football we wanted. But look, as you've probably seen with the players we've got on paper today, we're up for a fight.
Yeah, you certainly got a great list there with the buy-in from all clubs, mate. How are you feeling about the Old Scholars?
Well, look, as they've said about themselves, they have got a lot of talent. All right, they've got a lot of experience. But in saying that, I believe we've got the same team or talent to match them on the day.
So how have you picked your side? There's a lot of great players here today. A couple that are probably missing through injury and things like that. But how have you picked the side this year?
Well, mate, I'm a big believer of make sure you've got a good spine. So I picked my key position players, and then I've also tried to pick a bit of speed and also skills and some good long kicks.
So you haven't picked on names either, you've picked on form going through the SFL season so far?
Oh, definitely. So that was one of my big things. I know from the past some players have got a buy-in due to the fact that they've done things in the past. But look, I've went off form, I've went off speed, and I've also gone off their ability to win the ball.
The Old Scholars have been fairly mouthy. We just spoke to Alex Gilmore. He reckons he's got you guys by 5 or 6 goals today. What do you say to that?
Well, look, mate, I'm not going to buy into none of that. I believe our side here we've got here on paper will win the game. Simple as that. But look, if they want to try and get out under our skins by throwing them comments out, it's not working at all.
Rightio, well there we go, John Murray, tight-lipped, great mate, all the best for today. And any players you want us to keep a special eye on?
Mate, 22 that's been picked, they're all good enough to stand up on the day, so let's hope for a good contest.
All right, all the best there, John Murray. Thanks very much, John, and let's cut to the game. This is going to be, I'm pumped, I'm fired. All right, well there we go, the two coaches having a chat together, and we see the Old Scholars boys getting fired up. There's one of my favourite players from the Old Scholars, number 14. That is, of course, my man, Lukey Adams from the Richmond Footy Club. Love the way he attacks the footy, Peach. And you've got a few players that you're keeping an eye on for the Old Scholars.
Yeah, I think there's some hard matchups because they've got a range of small forwards that are able to kick goals. Trent Stanton kicked 10 last week. As you mentioned, Rat Gilmore, had a chat to him. He's able to move up, probably further up the field than he might do for Richmond and get the ball in. Such a good kick of the football as well. Jake Briggs might even move forward at a different stage. Ian Cullinan, I'd imagine he'll be half forward for a lot of the game. So these players are really difficult. Throwing Adam Daft in the middle of the ground, who's just one of the best users of the football in southern Tasmania. Michael Fisher as well. There's a plethora of good footballers, but doesn't mean Southern Footy League don't have some guns. And they've got some taller, more mobile, bigger players, which is their advantage. I
think you're right. I think, as we heard from Johnny Murray there, he mentioned about building his spine and then filling up after that and on the good players. And his spine is pretty solid, as we see Liam Azzopardi. He'll be playing down at centre-half back, I imagine, as well as Braden Barwick playing down full-back. I'll be very interested to see who lines up on Trent Stanton, obviously coming back from the TSL last year and coming into the OHA ships this year. But there's the big ruckman, of course, Big Jack Siggins from Dodgers Ferry, who are flying at the moment down there, the Sharks.
Yeah, Hooker's been a good player for Dodgers Ferry this season as well, so he gets a game. But it's been an interesting season, hasn't it, the Southern Footy League? You've got some teams coming back, but a few teams like Huonville maybe not performing that we thought they might do. So, big opportunity. And I had a quick chat to Ben Beams, who's been very vocal in the papers and the media during the week. He loves stirring the pot, Ben. That's his style. He had a real go at the optics last year of the NTFA versus the Southern Football League. We covered that game. And I don't think we need to talk too much about this. It's a different year, a different game, and we're really looking forward to it.
And we talked about buy-in with the coaches a little bit earlier. Both leagues have got the buy-ins. Adam Daft lining up in the middle. Looks like, who's that down there? Is that Scott Beattie? I didn't think he was playing, but anyway.
Our Corso's in there as well.
Our Corso, yeah.
So I reckon he's going to have a run with roll, Al Corso, today.
Yep, looks like he's lining up on Marty Allison. So here we go. SFL versus Old Scholars. Challenge match for 2019 is away. Ruck contest one down. Marty Allison gets on the end of that one. Pushed away, but the kick goes forward for the Old Scholars. Coming out of the footy there, that looks like Briggs. Doesn't get it. Narco now picks it up, gets tackled hard. That's what they wanted to start with. It's holding the footy. Briggs will take the kick from half forward. Handballs off quickly to a running Langford. Goes long down inside forward 50, and Gilmore with strength. Bit of push and shove there. Don't mind that. Trent Stanton's down there too. And we will see Rat Gilmore take a kick. First kick on goal, and the Old Scholars are out and about.
Look at this mark from Gilmore. Just good body position and physicality from Barwick, still unable to get in front and get a fist to it. That was a wonderful mark.
Certainly was, and Gilmore's laces are untied as well. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens here now. Alex Gilmore goes back, 32-year-old out at Richmond. He's the coach. He's a magnificent kick of the footy.
look at this. You're right. He's one of the best set shots going around in Tasmanian footy. And he kicks them really well from 40 metres.
Just massages that one through the goals, and he's up and about, and he's fired up there, the Rat. First blood goes to the Old Scholars, and look at Jake Briggs get around him. Wasn't that a brilliant tackle on half forward?
Well, Jake Briggs is a good defensive forward, isn't he? He's able to lay tackles. He just held Narco Price, nearly second and too long, but Narco, you know, the intensity of Jake Briggs created this goal, and then the kick into a little bit of space was outstanding.
If anything, Peach, what that says to the SFL is you blokes better have come to play today, because we are fired up.
They've had a real jovial start to the game and the training sessions, Beamer said. So that's I think that's probably indicative of what we've seen so far. So we're back in the middle of North Hobart. These teams would enjoy playing, I'd imagine, here at North Hobart. Is Howard goes up and the Old Scholars release the ball again to half forward. Callanan, second grab, marks the football, knocked away by Livingston from him. It's on the edge of the pack still. Tackle laid then on that occasion by Anderton. Ball's just being spilled out as neither team able to really get a clear possession of the ball as Cameron Johns. And the SFL finally, let's see what they do off half back. It'll be really interesting as Jake Murphy, one of my players who's had a big improvement. And the ball's knocked over in front of Cassidy, who will be a main player today.
And Cassidy lining up on Chrissy Howard from the Uni Footy Club. That'll be a good battle. Chrissy's a few years younger than Big Cass.
He'll be able to run with him, but I imagine Cassidy will try and put some Ks into him early.
Buck contest, one down. Langford gets his kick away. Can't quite get it where he wants it to go. Standon's underneath it. Nice mark. That should have been paid. No, it wasn't. Wardlaw was the one with it. Now the run and carry from the SFL. Livingston off that half-back line. Drills it up forward. Nice mark to the running player there. It's Roberts that gets it forward down to Cassidy. And Cassidy is within range here. Wheels and goes. He knows to be predictable. He drives it up to the tops of the square. Potter gets to behind the play. Quick kick away there by Polanowski. And out it goes in front of Kobe Phillips in the long sleeves, no doubt. And we'll see a boundary throw in.
I see long sleeve. Kobe does like the long sleeves and a pretty nice move of the football. Ben Holton's playing a little deeper at the moment. Looks like Cassie's really pushing up the field here, Tubes. So I imagine Holton will probably go deep for most of the game. You'll see a ball up here in a ruck contest as that man Holton with his right hand delivers the ball into the side of the forward 50. Cleverly picked up there by Marcus Parker. Now there's a hold here, and it will be a free kick to the Old Scholars here off half back, as I imagine they'll just continue to maintain possession here. And Ben Beam spoke a little bit about early today, actually, in ABC Grandstand, about they'll finesse and keep control. And you'll see probably the Southern Footy League maybe bomb the ball a little bit further. He calls, I think he actually, between the lines, he was calling that country footy, as now in half back, and what's been an entertaining and very physical clash here, Tubes.
Yeah, Brody Langford's been busy early there, Peach. You're on the half forward line now for the SFL. Polanowski up against Siggins. It comes down. That's a quick little handball out by Fisher. What sort of kick's that? Not sure from Alex Cook. Anyway, a little bit of an eye gouge there. Nothing doing. And the handball comes to Daft. Daft quickly sends it forward. Big punch away. Getting on hot on the hammer there was Michael Fisher. Out it comes now for Wilson, who goes long towards Gilmore, and it's over the line, one behind.
Tell you what, when they get the ball into open spaces, Tubes, they look good, Old Scholars. In saying that, it's a relatively close game, and I think the confines of this ground usually keeps games pretty tight. Yeah,
it certainly does. Out it comes now for Marty Allison. Expect him to have a big game.
Did Marty start on the ball, or has he moved back to half back now?
He's on the ball, I think. He's just getting around the ground. I think this is Theodore James. Just popping it over the top, coming to meet it. Potter, that's 50 metres if you ask me, but nothing doing. Lukey Potter plays on quickly. Sends it long in the Cassidy direction. Cassidy going back with the flight. Howard now with time.
Chris Howard got moved under the ball, then far too easily by Cassidy.
Narco very quickly down into the pocket towards Holton, and it goes out of bounds, beats him, boundary throw in.
You can see Cassidy, what he is, he's moving up to around 70 metres from goal and then tracking back. So he's quickly turning Howard around. Howard, I assume he has the fitness to be able to go with Cassidy, but at the moment he's just losing his position as Cassidy. It's just constantly on the move. As you see, a rock contest, a quick snack on goal by Parker. Is he going to get the first? And he does, the boy from New Norfolk. Marcus Parker with one, the SFL with one, and it's a point the difference here early.
Well, that's just wise from the big man, Marcus Parker, the boy from up New Norfolk. He is a very, very talented footballer. We saw him kick a goal to win the game a couple of years ago in a grand final, and that was just magnificent work in the ruck contest. Worked his opponent under the footy, grabbed and dribbled one through.
He knows where the goals are. You're right. He's clever when the ball's on the ground. He's just got to he knows he knows the nuance of the oval football, and that occasion he roved it, but pretty poor that no defensive work then put on the odds. But this is a style of rep footy sometimes. Hopefully it is high scoring due to the fact that teams don't always, they're not matched up.
Now Corso with his cymbals goes long, deep inside forward 50 and finds Gilmore on a lead. Beautiful work there from Claude Corso. Ruck contest in the middle was pretty even, but it was well read. And how about that kick?
Once again, it's kicked into a bit of space, and Barwick right on his tail. But you can't defend that, can you, Tubes? When the ball goes into space, if you're the same speed as your opponent, you're not ever going to get in front of them if that's such a good kick.
Crowd starting to build here as Gilmore goes back and has his shot at his second goal. That one may just fade. It's gone through, though, straight through the middle. And that is Gilmore's second. The Old Scholars out by 7 points.
So certainly the camaraderie of the Old Scholars, which we felt the energy in their rooms just before the game, as we see the replay here, the Mood Food Bennett's Petroleum replay. Alice Gilmore from 35 metres, his second shot, one from the right-hand side. The earlier goal was from the left-hand side. I mean, he's just showing you how to kick for goal, isn't he?
Well, we know how hard a matchup he is, don't we? He's so quick off that first 10, 15 metres. He's just a joy to watch playing footy, but Old Scholars out by 7 points. 7 minutes gone in the first term in this SFL versus Old Scholars rep game. Polanowski down to Duff. We've seen that so many times through their careers. Comes back to Polanowski. He kicks long, deep inside forward 50. Gilmore punched away nicely, though. It was standing. Now a chance for Langford. He's been chased by Azzopardi right in the pocket. Spins one round. Gilmore in the right spot. Worked it beautifully. And it looks like Barwick might have injured himself here.
A little twist or turn. I think he did get whacked in the shin there, Barwick. This is the opposite. Barwick's actually played in front, so he's changed his process. Unfortunately, did he maybe just twist his knee? I'm not sure. We might see another replay, but that may have impacted it. But he played in front, but still unable to get the mark. Wonderful.
Let's take a look at it. We'll slow it down if we can.
It was clever from Brodie Langford, wasn't it? It was a good kick.
Might have been an elbow. He's reached for his elbow. So I'm not sure what's happened there. He's still down behind play and he's hurt. That is not good for the Claremont Footy Club because he is an absolute superstar. No one likes to see that. We see Caden Wilson pat him on the back, heading off. Dislocated elbow, perhaps.
That looks really bad, doesn't he? Looks in some discomfort. This discomfort came straight away, didn't it, as he went down. But we'll just have a look at Alice Gilmore now. So he's directly in front. He's kicked 2 goals already. He has 2 kicks. That's his third. He's made the umpire go a long way to his right. But all he does is come back to the middle, stick 2 fingers out. And Gilmore has 3 here in the early stages. Well,
that's a massive out for the SFL for sure. He's a big defender down there, Braden Barwick, and I reckon we might see Liam Azzopardi.
I think Azzopardi's got the athleticism to go. Azzopardi has been knocked out twice, I think, this year in Hobart games.
Really?
So he hasn't had a lot of footy, but I know he's got the athleticism to potentially go.
I feel sorry for him. And
Jake Murphy's another one. He potentially could come across and take him. So I like Jake Murphy. I think he's a really underrated player. So back in the middle of North Hobart as we've got a change in the ruck and see one of our favourite, Callum Garvey, go onto the football. Nicely done by James. He's had his second kick. Moves it towards Rawson. Rawson upfield. Finds the hands of Marty Allison from Claremont. His kick into the pocket, but unfortunately it's been cut off there. Chrissy Howard has marked it.
Yeah, I think a free kick there against big Marcus Parker for a push.
A little bit of a block, so deep in defence here. There's the Old Scholars who had to be clever. Straight to Parker. He's turned it over from 35, kicks a goal, and it is goal for goal. Parker with 2 to the right of screen in the Argyle Street, the Horigori Den, and to the left-hand side of the screen, Alice Gilmore has 3. What a start.
Well, Marcus Parker there.
Ever the opportunist, Tubes.
Very surprised to get on the end of that one. Just, I think is that, who's down there?
Well, the kick was gritty because it was 1-on-2. He's trying to get it to Fisher. And in the end, Parker just took the easiest of marks. Unfortunately, he needed to get another 1.5 metres on it. But even then, it was still a risky kick because Fisher had 3 players converging on him.
Yeah, I think that might have been my good mate, Sammy Peacock, that turned that over.
He's a good kick, Peacock, generally, too.
Is Big Garvey playing in a pair of Blunts and boots?
Hey, he's got some high tops on. The late 60s high tops.
Now they're away. Rawson with a little worm burner down towards Holton, coming out to meet the footy. There he is, the young bloke. But it comes out towards that man there in Trent. I think that might have been Alex Cook that sent it out to Dylan Grant. And they're away. Good defensive fist away, and that one goes out of bounds in front of the player down there. And we'll see, I think that's Harry Richmond. We'll see a ball in.
Got Callum Rawson running on the ball at the moment. He, I reckon, was one of the, and I've said it already a couple of times, one of the more underrated players. That was a push there, but I reckon he'll get on the end of a couple of tackles. He's a really good defensive player.
Out they come now. The Old Scholars look to attack. Now it's a race, a foot race. The first one that is down there is Dan Blazley. Handball's off to Livingston, who overcooked that kick. Now Alex Cook going 1-2 with Jai County. That's not Jai County at all, beg your pardon. As Symbols heads in towards Fisher. Fisher spins around the corner towards Standen. Livingston's got the Standen job. And we'll see a boundary throw in deep inside the Old Scholars forward 50.
And it's actually Blair Wardlaw who's running on Gilmer. That is an excellent matchup. Blair Wardlaw is one of the best halfbacks in the Southern Footy League for the last decade. Expect him to be able to at least match it. Nice, some nice hair out there. That's the second best bush besides Fisher. It was sort of steep in the forward line here. It's quickly picked up there by Harry Richmond. He has a shot on goal, but it's marked right on the defensive line by Wardlaw, who we just mentioned a few moments ago. So the Southern Football League in the lovely blue colour with the yellow V, a yoke, and it's kicked up to half forward. It's a good kick. It just misses the target, nearly into the hands of Richmond. High tackle called by the umpire. Good decision. You can hear a bit of booing. There's around 1,000 people here, we think, at the moment, Tubes Taylor. So
it's
a few of them booing. Booing in the end as Jordan Dunn. Unfortunately, he's turned it over, and now look out. They're running away here by Lewis Franks.
Lewis Franks looks like he's had a nice new fade on the haircut as that man stands in front for the SFL. Out it comes for Richmond. He got his handball away. Livingston over the back. Oh, Briggs, Wilson, Caden Wilson at cop one high. He's an angry young man, Caden Wilson.
He certainly was upset here because he just gave a little kick. I know it was nothing untoward, but you just see on the replay here was definitely, looked to me, an easy free kick.
Great contest by Standen there, and Richmond there with a handball. Oh, a little bit low.
There's a little kick.
Little punchy kick. Who cares? It's all fair. Anyway, Caden Wilson will put this one back, and he does. So Caden Wilson kicks his first goal, and the Old Scholars shoot out to a 13-point margin. SFL 2 straight, OSFA 4-1-25, lead by 13 points.
Yeah, just seeing a little bit of pushing and shoving at the moment. It's good to see some feelings, as we mentioned. A lot of conversations earlier in the day and also throughout the last fortnight. A bit of stirring the pot, which is okay, isn't it? We don't mind that. But the early stages here, I think the Old Scholars are looking a little bit better at maintaining possession. But there's some big guns up in that Southern Footy League forward line, which I don't know they've got necessarily enough matchups.
They haven't fired yet. I like this move of putting Jai County in the middle. That's a good move. He's in form for New Norfolk.
As we see a ruck contest, as Gravy nearly won that one through Bullock. Now it's through the middle, and that's long kick. What you're going to do? Looking for Holton. Holton's right hand unable to get that as Hardy applies some pressure. Hardy ran out of options. His only option then was the left forward pocket. He nearly tried to put it on the behind post for a little touchdown. He's got a ball up here. So let's see what the SFL got. Parker over the back, just coming in. Look out for Jai Bierman here with a helmet. He's very elusive around goal. Parker in the right. Parker wins it. That'll be holding the football. No, it's not. He somehow, the umpire allowed him to get rid of it. They're going to release out the back here. Moves on towards Chris Howard. Howard's kick, dangerous. Not marked then by Phillips. Phillips then goes to ground. Tries to lay a bit of pressure. Fisher on the back of that pack. And we'll have a ball up 45 out from the SFL goal. Risky kick.
Gee, I like that work from Bullock in there, though. He was great to just hold that footy in. Parker with the ruck contest down towards that man, Lukey Potter. No free kick. We'll see another ball up. 15 minutes gone in the first term. Parker with a nice ruck contest, wins it down to Dunn. And another ball up. So Old Scholars doing well just to lock it up here. Look at Franks' boots. His legs are almost as white as that jersey.
Doesn't help, does it?
No, out it comes. Picked up nicely and driven away by Brad Joseph. Now a bounce for Franks on the non-favoured. He gets it forward, but it's coming straight back. Now the SFL need to look here as they go deep inside forward 50. Potter. Good little handball over the top by Nate. Beg your pardon, that's Tommy Roberts that handballed that away. And a free kick going the way of the Old Scholars.
He was unlucky then because he actually endeavoured not to push in the back then. Unfortunately, I think it was Jai Beerman in the end, sort of fell across, but fraction unlucky, I reckon.
So this is Brady Joseph going across the face of goal. Dangerous kick, but it's worked out okay. Bit of movement here. Chrissy Howard floats across, takes the mark.
Chrissy Howard looks good when the Old Scholars had the footy. Because he's able to get free. He likes playing that sort of loose man. But now and again when Cassidy has, he struggles.
Good from Langford off to Phillips, who drives it inside forward 50, floating across the pack. There's no need for that. He's out.
I think Murphy's down here, but I think this was relative. It was okay. I think it was a 50-50 contest. Murphy knew he was getting in the way, getting into the hole. He even had a little look then, Murphy. You can see on the replay. He just had a look for this, and
no, that's Weeks. That's Weeks. Sorry, that is absolute. That's not necessary. That is not necessary from Gilmore. Absolutely not necessary. I'm just wondering
though. I wonder though he left his.
No, Peach. There's no need to do that.
What was his other option?
His other option, not to drop the shoulder like he did for starters.
So to keep his hands up and risk the broken ribs?
No, I'm saying he can protect himself, but you watch him. He looks at that player and he wants to take him down. That's not necessary. That'll be Weeks.
I reckon it's probably decision-making, split decisions.
No, there's no need for that now, game. I'm massive against this. Taking his head like that is unnecessary, and I know he didn't mean to do it. He didn't mean to hurt him. He didn't mean to knock him out like he has. Right, but that is not necessary. He wasn't getting anywhere near that contest. The ball was not his option.
I think at the stage though, he was running towards the ball. But anyway, we won't. Hopefully, Murphy's okay. He's moving here.
I've got a lot of time for Alex Gilmore, right? A lot of time for him. He's a very talented footballer, but that's not necessary in a rep game where there's nothing on the line except for pride.
Well, we may disagree on this one. I think it was a 50-50 split decision, really tough. Once you're in the air, you're going to protect your body. It's a natural instinct, and unfortunately, the end result is what we look at now. Is unfortunately it was a high contact there. And the rules have changed over the years, where now the review panel look at the result of the contact. And so if you had got him a little bit lower down, and it would have been potentially just to probably play on, because it didn't get him actually front or back, it was just in the side. But unfortunately, he did get him in the head.
His elbow hit him high.
Unfortunately, did.
And I get wrapped up in the emotion of it, of course. But I just think that it's just a real shame that this happens in a game of rep footy where there's nothing on the line.
We just might be show it one more time. We'll just see if Rat jumped at the same time as Murphy has sort of came into his space. Because he's able to get free. He likes playing that sort of loose man. Nice by Briggs. So it's a good kick here from Kobe Phillips. He kicked that one about 35. He's jumped. And I really, in fast motion...
In fast motion, that doesn't do him any favours. And it won't do him any favours in slow motion
Well, it's interesting. We're having a discussion. Obviously, we've seen the same event. We've got completely different opinions. What the issue is, Murphy's down, and it's a real shame to an injury to one of the better defenders in the Southern Footy League. And that's going to hurt his club team, Dodgers Ferry. And it's a great shame for a really gritty, gutsy footballer who put himself in the line for his competition in his challenge match, which is a wonderful example, passion from him, but unfortunately he's going to be taken off the ground. But he is moving, he is conscious. He's got the neck brace on, which is...
I understand it all, right? I get that there's a bit of pride on the line here, but you've also got to be mindful that these guys are donating their time essentially to play a game of footy.
Yeah, but it's a recognition of some good football this year from them as well.
But in that regard, there's nothing on the line other than pride. You got to pull out of that contest.
I don't know how he could. He was already in the air.
No, but you don't have to lower your shoulder and drop your elbow. No, he wouldn't have got near him. He could have dodged him. I'm just saying that's what it would have been.
Anyway,
and rightfully so. They've given 50 metres. So anyway, we'll move on.
Anyway, so the SFL have an opportunity to drive it forward to around 45 minutes. Parker right at the back of that pack. So that was, unfortunately, a poor kick. Olenowski now handballs the ball off. Finds the hand of Lewis Franks, who's had some good possessions off half-back, to Kobe Phillips. Phillips works it wide. Finds the captain, Briggs. Briggs with a bit of space. Kicks it along, up to half-forward. Nearly the mark taken over the back. That was clever. Gravy in there. Good tackle laid then on Caden Wilson. Caden Wilson appears pretty pumped. Good tackle by Liam Azzopardi, who's moved on to Wilson and neutralised here.
I will say this, though. I can't. It's so hard to react in the passions of the game, isn't it? So Alex Gilmore obviously didn't mean to hurt that player. I'm just saying that perhaps if he had his time over again, he probably would pull out of that competition. Anyway, as the ball moves forward, daft, smooth, quickly stuffed. Handball's off to a running man in Brad Joseph, who gets stripped of the footy. They're going to go on here. Here goes County from deep, and that one is out of bounds on the full. 3
kicks from Southern Foot League, one from County, one from Azapati. Just a little rushed. I don't know the Old Scholars are necessarily rushing their kicks at the moment. Maybe that's the difference in the two teams. Is now the free kick here by Lewis Franks, who's had a stack of the ball here off deep in half back. Let's see how his kick is. He's got a player further afield, so they're just holding it on here and just slowing things down as this game has just had a bit of wind taken out of it. It's a good kick, finds Briggs.
And I think when you see 2 injuries to the SFL, that gets inside the minds of the SFL players, because they're thinking, gee, what am I doing out here, you know?
Maybe.
Anyway,
Brody Langford now, a respected player for OHA. His kick's a little wobbly, though. It might still reach the hands. Unfortunately, it doesn't. Caden Wilson dive, full stretch. Is that a bounce on the full? Maybe not, just in front of the lovely old grandstand there, which burnt down about 7 or 8 years ago, and they've remade it even better again.
Yeah, well done. So a boundary throw in right in front of that George Miller stand. Polanowski up against County. Polanowski wins it down a little too high over the top of poor old Claudio Corso. Doesn't get the free kick. Quick kick comes in. Potter tries hard. Kobe Phillips there with a great bit of bounce. Works it around. Nice stuff by him. Sends it low. Polanowski, now Langford. Narco gets a hold of him, but the Campbell came off quickly. Out to Phillips, and that's great delivery to that man there. Alex Gilmore will go back and have a shot at his 4th goal.
Yeah, bit of an effort, wouldn't kick 4 goals in a quarter of football with some really good defenders around Alex Gilmore. Kobe Phillips through the middle of the ground, getting a little bit of the football. Oh, yeah. Such a good kick. Once again, he's kicking into a little bit of a hole. I think it's Cameron Johns now playing on Gilmore, so he's had 3 opponents. He may kick his 4th.
So Gilmore, from about the same position that he kicked one earlier, goes back and makes no mistake. He's kicked 4 straight. Alex Gilmore puts them out by 19 points. And
he's obviously got out of his head the fact that that contest happened early in his comeback. He's taken a mark, and you know, he feels better about himself.
And look, he's, like I said to you before, Peach, he didn't mean to knock him out. My point is that you've got to be conscious of what's going on, given that there's nothing on the line for this game. So you can drop your shoulder like that if you want to, but I think it's unnecessary. And you think it's about protection. I don't think that he hits him with
partly about protection, partly split decision. But anyway, back in the middle of the ground here. Got a really good ruck contest at the moment. Polanowski probably just winning it as a clearance kick there by the Southern Football League. Cassie trying to win front position. Luke Potter's been good. Potter handballs off to Marty Allison. Marty Allison from 40 metres kicks a wonderful response for the SFL. And the fans just on the left-hand side here in the Duff position applauding Southern Footy League, and Cassidy trying to pump up the team.
And that's what they need. That's what they need. This sort of run from Marty Allison. Quick kick, but watch the follow-up here. Watch him. He comes from nowhere.
It was good by Potter too. Like, this is a good handball by Potter.
Brilliant stuff.
There's been some open play tubes, hasn't there? Yep. And we know that our erstwhile leader of us, Mr. Martin Duffy, doesn't like contested footy necessarily. Doesn't like congested football, I should say. He loves contested footy. We haven't seen too much of this. We see.
Geez, they need another one here as it comes out for Rawson, down towards Parker, over the back. Quick one for Holton. Here's Cassidy from a tough angle, bends it around and kicks a beauty.
Wow.
Wow. Absolutely ripping stuff from the captain, Michael Cassidy, and that's what this contest needed. It's only 7 points the margin.
Left foot in front of the Roy Kazali stand. It is a really difficult pocket on your left with some pressure to manage to get that through. And you actually needed to bounce on the line. We'll see a replay in a minute from Jarrow. Here's a replay. It was a nice move by Callum Rawson, who's been really instinctive in the middle of the ground with some of his team. Just wanted the football. That's outstanding. I mean, they aren't necessarily deep pockets, but they're not easy to kick goals from. No. Not the left foot. Anyway, fantastic start to this game as the SFL have lifted. Has been pinging back. Holton tries to climb high. Howard gets it down. Gets it away from those forwards for a little while. He might phone out Corso. Short kicks, not bad, to a 50-50 contest. The mark's been dropped by Richmond. Tackle laid on that occasion to Jai County. And now the SFL have a couple of numbers. And one of those players running past it was Theodore James. Tackle laid on Garvey. He's been good, Garvey. High tackle, maybe. Just on the top of Adam Duff, possibly.
Well, it's very easy to tackle Dafty high, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's going to be a throw up here. Around about centre wing, just in front of our commentary position. Garvey in the ruck. County on him. Garvey probably has the body work as Phillips gets a handball over the top, trying to find Claudel Corso. He couldn't, and we'll have another ball up here as
it's gone up a level, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's lifted a bit. I mean, there's nothing spiteful about what's going on at the moment. It's a really good contest.
I don't think, I want to make it quite clear that that wasn't something that Rat did on purpose. I just think that it's unnecessary. Anyway, here he goes. Great work. Nice tackle laid by
Callum Rawson. He's been the best SFL football on the ground. What a game he's having.
Yeah, an absolute beauty. Now they're away through Janes. Just a bit of time here in the middle if he wants. Decides against it and sends it long. Out in the Garvey direction, Parker.
There's a hold here.
And the free kick going against Marcus Parker for holding on. And he's not happy about a big Park.
I think both were holding on, but
yeah,
the umpire just blew the whistle for 50-50.
Anyway, goes back. That is Alex Cook down there. Finds a man in Brad Joseph. Going across the field out to Fisher. Fisher goes back inboard to Anderton. And that one's rubbish. Holton sends one low. Who's down there? Here goes Lukey Potter. Off a handball. Quick one to Big Cassidy, and it goes through for a behind.
Tell you what, Michael Cassidy off a step is the most dangerous kick in Southern footy, I reckon. He loves kicking off a step, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Buddy Franklin style. Anyway, missed opportunity there as this game has evened up. It's 6 points of difference late here in the first quarter. Probably got a minute or so left as the old Scholars have it deep in defence. They're just trying to work their way out, and for once they're going to go long. It's going to go high. Lucky Polanowski goes over the back of that pack. Southern Football League just have some numbers here. One of those players just missing the handball was Azapati coming off half-back. He's run a long way from where he was a few minutes ago. Now it's in the hands of Daniel Blaisley. Blaisley moves it on to Holton. His kick is good to Narco from Sorrell. Narco to Livingston, who's running past. He's covered some kilometres. Cassidy couldn't win on that occasion. Going and applying some pressure was Anderton. Daft in there, as he always is. Now it's on to Fisher. Fisher's kick, about a metre short of what that needed to be. He's going to get it back again. Fisher with a bit of space, a driving kick to Gilmore.
Geez.
And he's marked another one.
He is so good on the lead, isn't he?
And he's got Blair Wardlaw on him, man. I can tell you, Blair Wardlaw is one of the quickest players out there, and we'll see the lead here. And once again, wonderful kick on this occasion. It's Fisher kicking it low into space. The only way you can defend that, he actually put someone in front and play a zone. But
well, then they get rolled. So
anyway, we'll see late in this quarter. Gilmore kicking for 5 from 45 metres out. Stuttering approach. It doesn't make a difference what he does today. He has 5, Alex Gilmore.
He's on track for 20 goals.
He's having a good day so far.
He's on track for 20 goals. Wow. He just looks so good on a lead. No one's going to... And that's what he's done his whole career. We see it time and time again in the old Scholars.
And in the TSL he did this as well.
Yep.
He's done in various competitions.
Yeah, we've seen it in the old Scholars over the last decade, though. Him running flat out from full forward. There's not many that can go with him.
And he's got such good users at Richmond as well that use the ball so well through the middle of the ground. And half of those players are playing today, aren't they?
What do you reckon about Jai County's little dude today?
I wouldn't go it. I'm not as handsome as Jai, so he can get away with it.
Polanowski up against that man, Jai County. Narco slips at the inopportune time, then gets a handball away. Polanowski with a quick left foot kick outside, and they're going back with a flight. Courageous stuff from Azapati. He chips it over, finds Allison. Allison back in board, a little short one to Jai County. The ex-Claremont man now at New Norfolk sends it long. That one's got Cassidy, and Cassidy could have killed that bloke, but he didn't.
You need to move on, Shoops. Anyway.
No, I just think that there's a mindset around rep footy. It's all good. You can be competitive, but you've got to be conscious of your mates around you. These blokes don't play against each other.
Polanowski we'll get back to footy, just turned and looked for a teammate. And unfortunately, Marcus Parker ran in at the last minute and in the end took that run contest. But unfortunately, the young lad throwing the ball in didn't quite have enough power and it fell about 5 metres short. We'll go again here at centre half, no, nearly centre half, centre wing here, as Parker wins it out of the pack and then thumps it forward. Tries to find Jordan Dunn from Dodges Ferry. Quick kick going forward. It nearly went back in, and unfortunately, Old Scholars have got it again. Nearly marked on that occasion by Cameron Johns. Kobe Phillips now with the replay. Kobe, first time he's turned it over, and it's into the hands of Braden Livingston. Deep in defence here.
He could have played for the Old Scholars rep side last year. He was at uni and then moved back to Cygnet. So
he's a good pickup from Cygnet. Have had a really good start to the season. That's a fabulous mark by Potter. He's got some of the best hands in the Southern Football League. He kicks onto one-on-one. Parker climbs up high, still gets it, and then gets one in the face. Didn't actually dispose of it. Ben Holton knocks it off, finds Theodore James, kicks it long, and kicks a response. And a late goal here for the Southern Footy League. They're only 6 points down, Tubes Taylor. Yeah. They're six points down from pretty much Alex Gilmore.
I think that as they move the ball forward, if they can get run of Theodore James, Cam Johns, Callum Rawson, these blokes that are sending the ball forward like that. Marcus Parker did really well there, and then just poor Claudel Corso caught one in the chops. It wasn't actually him at all. It was Blake Anderton. But that goal...
They've actually got 2 or 3 goals running forward, haven't they? They're really different style of goals. You've got a key forward on the left-hand side of the screen in the Old Scholars leading up mark, kicking set shots, and a lot of running goals and snaps at the other end from good pressure from Southern Footy League. So contrasting methods to score. High.
Toby Cohen got him a little bit too
The thing is, with
there.
Fisher's hair, because he flicks it up, it looks like he's been hit harder than what he really has done.
That's actually Lukey Adams.
Oh, sorry, Lukey Adams, I should say.
A good fist away by Callum Rawson. And that is quarter time here at the SFL versus Old Scholars rep game. 37 plays at 31 goals for Old Scholars. Alex Gilmore with 5. And then for the SFL, 2 to Marcus Parker, singles to Marty Allison, Michael Cassidy and Theodore James. We're going to take a quick break here and get down to the huddles. We will be right back. 6 points the margin here on Duff TV.
And at the first break, it's Old Scholars 6-1-37 leading SFL 5-1-31. The Old Scholars goals 5 to number 13 Alex Gilmore and 1 to number 2 Caden Wilson. For the SFL, 2 goals to number 11 Marcus Parker and 1 each. Number 8 Martin Allison, number 12, Michael Cassidy, and number 19, Theodore James.
Forward, handballs off quickly to a running Langford, goes long down inside forward 50, and Gilmore with strength, bit of push and shove there, don't mind that. Trent Standon's down there too. And
footy in. He kicks them really well from 40 metres.
Just massages that one through the goals, and he's up and about, and he's fired up there, the Rat. First blood goes to the Old Scholars, and look at Jake Briggs get around him. Wasn't that a brilliant tackle on half forward?
Well, Jake go with Cassidy, but at the moment he's just losing his position as Cassidy. It's just constantly on the move. As you see, a rock contest, a quick snack on goal by Parker. Is he going to get the first? And he does, the boy from New Norfolk. Marcus Parker with 1, the SFL with 1, and it's a point of difference here early.
Well, that's just wise from the big man, Marcus Parker, the boy from up New Norfolk.
You know, they're not matched up.
Al Corso with his cymbals, goes long, deep inside forward 50, and finds Gilmore on a lead. Beautiful work there from Claudel Corso. Ruck contest in the middle was pretty even, but it was well read. And how about that kick?
Once again, it's kicked into a bit of space, and Barwi right on his tail. But you can't defend that, can you, Tubes? When the ball goes in...
Forward 50, Gilmore punched away nicely, though. It was Standon. Now a chance for Langford. He's been chased by Azapati right in the pocket. Spins one round. Gilmore in the right spot. Worked it beautifully. And it looks like Barwick might have injured himself here.
Just have a look at Alice Gilmore now. So he's directly in front. He's kicked 2 goals already. He has 2 kicks. That's his 3rd. He's made the umpire go a long way to his right, but all he does is come back to the middle, stick 2 fingers out, and Gilmore has 3. here in the early stages. See how it is marked.
Yeah, I think a free kick there against big Marcus Parker for a push.
A little bit of a block, so deep in defence here. There's the Old Scholars who had to be clever. Straight to Parker. He's turned it over from 35, kicks a goal, and it is goal for goal. Parker with 2 to the right of screen in the Argyle Street in the Horigori Den, and to the left-hand side of the screen, Alice Gilmore has 3. What a start.
Little punch kick. Who cares? It's all fair. Anyway, Caden Wilson will put this one back, and he does. So Caden Wilson kicks his first goal, and the Old Scholars shoot out to a 13-point margin. SFL 2 straight, OSFA 4-1-25.
The Old Scholars had the footy. Because he's able to get free. He likes playing that sort of loose man. But now and again when Cassidy has these struggles.
Good from Langford off to Phillips, who drives it inside forward 50, floating across the pack. There's no need for that. He's out.
I think Murphy's down here, but I think this was relative. It was okay. I think it was a 50-50 contest. Murphy also, he's had 3 opponents. He may kick his 4th.
So Gilmore, from about the same position that he kicked one earlier, goes back and makes no mistake. He's kicked 4 straight. Alex Gilmore puts them out by 19 points.
And he's obviously got out of his head around here. Got a really good ruck contest at the moment. Polanowski probably just winning it as a clearance kick there by the Southern Football League. Cassidy trying to win front position. Luke Potter's been good. Potter handballs up to Marty Allison. Marty Allison from 40 metres kicks a wonderful response for the SFL. And the fans just on the left-hand side here in the Duff position.
Geez, they need another one here as it comes out for Rawson, down towards Parker, over the back. Quick one for Holton. Here's Cassidy from a tough angle, bends it around and kicks a beauty.
Wow.
Wow. Absolutely ripping stuff from the captain, Michael Cassidy, and that's what this contest needed. It's only 7 points the margin.
Left foot daft in there, as he always is. Now it's on to Fisher. Fisher's kick, about a metre short of what that needed to be. He's going to get it back again. Fisher with a bit of space, a driving kick to Gilmore.
Geez.
And he's marked another one.
He is so good on the lead, isn't he?
And he's got
gold.
Anyway, we'll see late in this quarter. Gilmore kicking for 5 from 45 metres out. Stuttering approach. It doesn't make a difference what he does today. He has 5, Alice Gilmore.
He's on track for 20 goals.
He's having a good day in the Southern Football League. He kicks onto 1-on-1. Parker climbs up high, still gets it, and then gets one in the face. Didn't actually dispose of it. Ben Holton knocks it off, finds Theodore James, kicks it long, and kicks a response. And a late goal here for the Southern Footy League. They're only 6 points down, Tubes Taylor.
Yeah.
They're six points down.
Rightio, second quarter about to get underway here, Peach. What they have to say down there at the Old Scholars?
Yeah, I think they're set up in their starting positions at the contested football. So Beamer said they were being dragged in too much.
Yep.
And on occasions that allowed easy possessions. We saw Marty Allison kick a goal late, and I think that's what he was referencing. He got in really easy possession about 45 metres, and that's because the Old Scholars defenders got sucked into the contest and were too close to each other and allowed space for someone running past. Ironically, John from the SFL said something kind of similar. Both teams are kind of frustrated. Too many uncontested marks and too many uncontested kicks going into the forward 50s for both teams. Fortunately for, I suppose, the SFL, they've got a couple of star forwards that are able to kick goals, whereas the other end, it's Alex Gilmore show.
Garvey wins it down. Out it comes here for the SFL. Handball a little bit too much on it over the top. Kobe Phillips gets it away. That's a great tackle, and that's holding the footy. Bullock sends it long. got a man out wide. Oh, it's got to be quick. He gets it away just. Now it comes down. Howard runs towards the footy and then hits a big torpedo pass out towards that man, Kobe Phillips. Phillips goes in towards Symbols there. Our Corso grabs it with two big Sibijan Symbols and then sends it inside forward 50. And here's the first time we're calling Ian Callanan's name.
He got tackled once and he had, I think, one handball in the first quarter. He was a little vocal in the halftime huddle. He was one of the players who talked about their positioning was wrong, particularly on half back, and he's got an opportunity to kick a goal.
Well, imagine having Ian Callanan and Alex Gilmore and Trent Standen in a forward line. Well, the OHA ships have two of those guys every single week.
And neither of them have really had an influence because they haven't needed to.
No, so here we go. Ian Callanan, put it in your journals, folks. This will be a goal. No doubt one of the best kicks of the footy in Tasmania, and he's sprayed it. Sorry, Ian.
You've absolutely monkeyed him.
Nothing, yeah.
Anyway, so behind is Cullen getting his first touch. So a very free-flowing game, and visually we're loving the contest. It's marked by Jack Siggins. So some of the real stars and players that have had a lot of TSL and even AFL experience actually quiet today, which is an indication of the quality of some of these kids. Now it's on to Livingston. Livingston goes short, and the mark's taken there off, just off half back, just in front of the George Miller stand.
Geordie Dunn.
Dunn now goes long up to half. Looking for Cassius, a little push out there on Howard, and unfortunately the ball went to his left. It's out of bounds on the full.
So Howard in the stack hat, sends it inboard, finds his man in Louis Franks. They want to get it in the Fade's hand, so sends it long. Oh, Callanan went up for it and then going back with a flight. That'll be a free kick against poor old Geordie Dunn, who copped a kneecap in the eyebrows.
No, it's not. It's Callan free kick.
Yep. No, but he got it.
Oh, sorry. Yep. Gee, that's a kick.
And now Franks from that half-back position plays without an opponent, and oh, wow. Alex Gilmore takes a mark amongst about 7 SFL players.
Well, he kicked on left footer here. He's a good left foot kick, Gilmore.
Don't reckon. I reckon he'll go the right check side.
Blair Wardlord was in the wrong position. The right position initially, but that one extra step was good from Gilmore. Just that bit of body contact to get that space.
Tubesy tells it like it is, and Gilmore kicks his 6th.
I'm running out of space here for Gilmore on our little score sheet.
I started on the very far left-hand side of the page.
That something big was going to happen
today. And he's kicked 6 goals. So the champion from the Richmond Footy Club sends another one home.
We might just get another replay in the marking contest, Gerald. We'll just see a little nudge. Just go back here. We'll just go up here. First of all, the kick. There wasn't pressure on his kick. Actually, was a shot. There was just a little hole just before that, but too easy in the end, wasn't it, for Rat to get that mark?
Yeah, Blair Wardlaw couldn't have done much there. Probably just got his fist on the footy, but just missed it. Anyway, there we go. There's our man, David Hunt, one of Duff TV's favourite sons. Quick handball out from Daft, and then a spraying kick goes nowhere in particular. Potter gets underneath it, works okay. Free kick going his way.
He was in front position, I suppose, then, Potter. He always plays front, Potter. He's a pretty gritty, gutsy footballer. Good leader.
Love watching him play. And this is well within his distance too. Plays on quickly, but he decides against it. Goes down towards Holton, who goes bang with a 1-juke.
He's cheated there, Holt. That went to the ground. But he looked like he was confident. And the umpire was on the other side, and he's paid the benefit of the doubt to the bloke who nearly marked the football.
Nathan Hardy's upset about it.
Holton just looked confident down.
Look at this.
He definitely hit the ground, but that's okay. We'll give it to him. He just pushed off, and there it goes, on the ground. No stuff. It actually spent more time on the grass in his hands.
Oh, wow.
Where's that gone?
Down Burnett Street.
Down Letitia, yep. Now it could be on the Burnett, into that one of the worst intersections in Tasmania.
So Franks with the fade, just slips over. Sends it long. Briggs went high. Now a short one from Roberts. Finds the young man, Jai Bierman from New Norfolk, 16 years old, playing in a rep side.
Gee, that was a good kick from Roberts.
He is elite with the use of his feet. I keep using that term, but he is an incredible footballer.
He usually plays a bit deeper, doesn't he? And unfortunately, that occasion, so the old scholars couldn't do anything. We'll just see this kick on goal. It's not bad. It's sneaking back in.
Jai Bierman.
And Bierman, a surprise packet. The youngster kicks a goal.
Well, it's 1 for 1 here at North Hobart Oval. And that margin back to 6 points.
Let's just see this kick. This is from 48 metres. Perfect drop punt in the end. And comfortably through the high diddle. So
There it
Goals
is
from everyone at the moment.
The Jackson Motor Company scoreboard. SFL 38, Old Scholars 44.
So at the moment, both teams are getting uncontested marks inside their forward 50, which will be frustrating for both teams. It doesn't necessarily happen in the roster. Garvey's been in the ruck for, in fact, it's not, it is Garvey, sorry, been in the ruck for the whole quarter, so he's running well. So Fisher onto his left foot, kicks it long, looking for Callan. Callan had no option then, as Livingston with his fist onto the football. Cameron Johns, clever. Callan again, tight in the pocket. He gets tackled. Nice work by Blaisley. Back into the hands again as Livingston. And the SFL respond. Kicks up high, looking for Jordan Dunn. As a party, clever handle from him. He's starting to work into this game. Kicks up, wobbly looking kick. Potter in front position. Alex Cook now. And the Old Scholars will repel.
They'll send it out. This one should roll over the boundary. It doesn't get the time, so Callum Rawson goes back towards County. County with heaps of time. He's a beautiful kick of the foot. He sends it up to that half-forward line. Down there was the little man, but it's worked out okay, and they're away. I think that's Brad Joseph that sends it forward. Chopping it off, though. The big man down there is Cam Johns. Tackles hard. Burying in there is Harry Richmond. And Trent Standard just doing a bit of slippery work there. Marty Allison has a bit of a chuckle with him.
Well, Trent Standard, a really good pressure footballer when the ball's within 60 metres of goal. He's always applying pressure. Yeah. Constantly bumping and grinding as Garvey gets his hand. I reckon he's given away a free kick here. His right arm looked like it went onto Joe County's shoulder. And generally that's an easy one for the umpires to call. So County on his favoured left boot. Dangerous because he kicked that one high. Kobe Phillips came in, but as a party did a really good job to hold his position. Marty Allison for the SFL. Potter climbing and taking a wonderful contested mark, 65 metres out. Fade for the handball, now turns onto his boot, looking for Holton in the pocket, and a great defensive work there by Anderton, who's having a good game.
He's having a ripper, and make no mistake, big Ben Holton is a hard man to match up on.
Tell you what is a hard man to match, Luke Potter at the moment. His hands are fantastic. So ruck contest, Cassidy gets to front position. Howard in there for the Old Scholars. It's very tight in the pocket. Howard gets it on. Quick little chip forward. And unfortunately, it's out of bounds on the full, and it's right in front of Luke Potter, who nearly always makes good decisions. He looked for the short kick. He had a lead from Theodore James, and he's decided to pull the socks up. He's going to have a set shot.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
I reckon this is good.
The margin.
He's a great kick. It's a tight pocket right in front of the score, but he's actually out of bounds as he kicks it. Oh, just faded. And a minor score for the Southern Football League.
5 points the margin here at North Hobart Oval. Big Cal Garvey looks like a Game of Thrones character.
Would he be one of the wildlings, or is he maybe one of the good?
He's a wildling, for sure. Yep. Anyway, look who it is. It's Silver Boots Frank. Franksy sends it long up towards Kobe Phillips. Marty Allison's there. Kobe gets a hold of it, then throws the footy away. And then Marty Allison gives him a bit of push and shove too.
Marty Allison does enjoy communicating to the opposition on the field, doesn't he? On that occasion, the young Kobe Phillips, he's a pretty quiet lad. Didn't say a lot.
Out it comes now, Cassidy! So strong, protected the drop zone beautifully.
You're right, you're dead on there, Tubes. He did protect the drop zone, and it was just classic Cassidy work, wasn't it? Often takes marks on his chest because he just sticks his behind out and provides a little bit of space around him, so he's unable for the defenders to go and provide pressure there. And he loves kicking from around 50.
Oh, yeah.
He also loves North Hobart Oval. In the grand final last year, he kicked a few, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
On this very ground.
Against a very strong Huonville side. Cassidy comes in. It's just faded away to the right, only just snuck in for a behind. So
it seems such a surprise to see behinds in this quarter after such an efficient goal-kicking exploits from both sides in that first quarter.
So I'm not sure what's happened to the Old Scholars here, but they just don't look as damaging as what they did in that first 5 minutes.
That actually, what's happened is they've pushed up a couple of half-backs up here, SFL, and the Old Scholars have got them back. So anyway.
Good mark taken there by Cam Johns.
He's been good, hasn't he, Choose?
Handball's back to Azapati, who goes wider still in the direction of Geordie Dunn. He's got a short one on out wide. Just slips through the fingertips of Jonathan Bullock. And now one off the top to Callanan. Throws it on the left boot. Azapati floats in.
This is a change in SFL. Azapati's now playing a bit more loose.
He's playing on Standen too, which is interesting.
But he's running off Standen. I don't think Standen's running with him because Standen's looking for a better disposal. Azapati's starting to get into the game at the moment for the Southern Footy League.
How about the mitts from Fisher there, who goes in board, finds his good mate, Jake Briggs. Briggs handballs off to the runner. And the Old Scholars go long, and it hits the woodwork.
Yeah, 3 Old Scholars there, wasn't it? All involved.
Yep.
Now off half back, Bled Wardlord, handballs, gets it back again. Now he's sort of been corralled into a kick. In the end, it's a wonderful kick. And it finds Jordan Dunn from Dodgers Ferry. Dunn, kick goes up. Good body work then from Cassidy. Narco there's to help. Great job, wonderful tackle by Chris Howard. And we've got a holder. And Cassidy was away then.
It's Tony Gibson.
Big Tony, he does everything, doesn't he? The only administrator paid by the Southern Footy League, does 73 hours a week. As we've got a ruck contest just in front of the George Miller stand. Now, no one's won that. It has to be a free kick to Cassidy. Falanowski giving that one away because he was in the back there. Kicks up high. Oh, Parker, juggle, give the umpire. Not paid that one. He paid the one to Holton. Play on here. The ball's just in there, forward line. Theodore James on the edge of that, dancing around. One in football, Adams. Theodore James now. And we've got a blow of the whistle, and I think it's a throw. Yeah, good call, Tubes Taylor, and we'll let you take over now.
Yep, so the Old Scholars from half back. Bit of time here. Gets called to move it on, plays on. Short one, out wide, Fisher. Fisher moving the ball into the middle of the ground to Langford, playing in school shoes today. Pair of Doc Martens. Goes longer still to find Blake Anderton.
He's pretty cool, Langford, isn't he?
Up towards Kobe Phillips. Kobe Phillips gets called to play on, onto his non-preferred. Pops it up. That's a good contest there. Out comes the ball towards Toby Cowan. And we'll see a ball up.
And the happiest man at North Hobart at the moment is the man filming this game today. Martin Duffy is thoroughly enjoying the spectacle. We were in Lonnie last week and we saw a Sardis game. That was nice and free-flowing. And we're seeing another example of it here. Good contest as we see Jai Beerman to kick the goal early in this quarter. Applying some great pressure then on Louis Franks. And has won a free kick, Louis Franks. Just holding just for a fraction too long. So I reckon Franks on the run would nearly kick it from here, Tubes, wouldn't he? Such a good kick on the run.
Well, he's got a fresh new fade on the haircut. Look at it. Look at that.
You have talked a lot about his haircut.
And look at the boots too. They're specially bought for this rep game.
Well, all you need to do is kick sausage rolls, and he's got an opportunity now. He'll be kicking from just behind the semicircle, which indicates 50 metres to go. There it is, Lewis Franks. It's going to go straight through, and unfortunately no one can defend that. And the Old Scholars just sneaked that lead out to 2 goals.
So magnificent stuff from Louis Franks. I ripped into him because he needs to put on some tanning lotion, because look how wide he is. He's the widest man in this whole team. Blends in with his jumper, but that's a beaut. He's a good user of the footy. We know he loves to run off half back, and you know, we
does seem drift forward and kick a goal, isn't it? It's, the brains trust there for the Southern Football League. Unsure how Louis Franks got such an easy mark, or I should say not such an easy mark, but wasn't able to get the ball so easily as Falanowski. Jai County finds Bullock. Kick is good. Parker misses the ball. Holton still with some space. Some pressure applied from Blake Anderton. He did enough then, Blake Anderton. Now Sam Peacock. Sam Peacock's kick was probably fortuitous at best. It finds Luke Adams. Went to kick, now decides to handball. Corso, Adams, lots of space in the middle of North Hobart Oval. Kicks it long, looking for Callan. Comes out, takes it on his chest. Swings onto his left foot, into the pocket. Tight there, nearly find the hands of Joseph. Throws it up into the air. The SFL have numbers. Storming out of there was Jonathan Bullock. He clears it for a while. Parker, wonderful hands. That ball was going over his head, still able to get the fingers up and rip it down. Now, there's something's happened downfield. There is a player who is on his haunches. And I'm not sure. We've got plenty of noise out here. There's a couple of drink bottles. And we've got a player down here. We're not sure who that one is at the moment. It's an Old Scholars player. And we're going to have a hold up here. Is it Briggs? It might be Briggs. It is a lot of noise. There's actually quite a big crowd that's built up here at North Hobart Oval. Well over 1,000, and most of those enjoying the atmosphere of the hill.
Yeah, really unsure what happened there. Just went out to us. And yeah, looks like Lewis Franks, actually.
Is it Louis? Is it? Yeah, I'm not sure. Is it Briggs? I'm just trying to pick it up. We'll get to you in a moment as we check. We might just, well, we can't really get a replay on this one because we had nothing to see. All we heard was some noise below the whistle. And
looks like Jake
play it down. Might be Jake Briggs, I think, who's down in his back. Now they're putting a neck brace on him, and this is the second player who has unfortunately had to leave the ground. The people around him aren't moving They're very controlled, and obviously a lot of protection errors. One gentleman there on his knees, ensuring that we think Jake Briggs's neck is kept safe and protected, as now the trainer's coming in. Gentleman there on the phone, ensuring that the ambulance was here a few moments ago. I'm not sure if it's still here. I imagine it may have gone to the hospital with Murphy, who was earlier hit by Alex Gilmore in a big contest not far from this spot, Tubes Taylor.
Yeah, I think what the crowd was laughing at potentially is the man running the stretcher out slipped over. Not sure. I'll go and do a bit of research. I'll be right back, Peach. So you fill in the
viewers. We'll keep going here. We might just see a replay. The last build-up of play there. Just before that, we've got a player down. We have a hold-up here in this rep game. But so far, we'll just go back through the goal kickers. So Alex Gilmore is having a day out. He's kicked 5 goals in the first quarter and has followed up with a further goal here in the second. Caden Wilson and Lewis Franks are the goal kickers for the Old Scholars Football Association. They have a 2-goal lead at the moment over the Southern Footy League. A couple of goals to Marcus Parker, who's looked very dangerous, travelling a long way up the ground. He's got Blake Anderton running on him at different stages. His hands have been great, as has Michael Cassidy, Marty Allison with a goal, Jai Bierman and Theodore Janes also with a goal. And we just had Tube Taylor just go out for a little bit of a wander. Several people are concerned at the moment.
I think it's Sam Peacock.
Oh, it's Sam Peacock. Yeah, okay, he has been playing at half-back.
And I think he was dumped in a Cassidy tackle. So a little bit sore, I reckon, Big Sam. One of Duff TV's favourite men.
Yep, came in and had a chat to us. Now he's old man to be here somewhere, usually working for North Hobart Football Club. Sam had a few years here at North Hobart, so he knows the ground well, and he's unfortunately being taken off the ground. It
comes back to, you know, we love Alex Gilmore, we love Michael Cassidy, but perhaps that,
without seeing it, we can't really make
it was a dump. It was a dump in the tackle. So
and it must have been well after the kick, because we didn't see it in the coverage.
No, I remember him.
We might just go back, Jared. If you can see maybe about a minute back, we'll see if we can get a replay.
He can't go that far back. So I just think, I don't know, maybe.
Anyway, so unfortunately here, but just...
He's okay, he's given the thumbs up.
While that's being sorted then, and hopefully he's okay, he's obviously conscious, he's just a little bit of wind, he's got some really good support. The unfortunate thing here, in this challenge match, the ambulance has been once, it may have to come again. It is with Marcus Parker, who just go back about a minute and a half ago, took that wonderful contested mark. He's in the middle of North Hobart as players now are back in action. Kick goes high to Cassidy, just dropping off. On the bottom of that was Jake Briggs. Into the hands of Cook. Cook handballs over the top to Brody Langford from OHA. Langford's kick, just a little indiscriminate. Gee, that's a nice mark taken by Cameron Johns. He's quite tall, Cameron Johns. I might just get his height in a minute, Tubes. He's probably about 6'2", isn't he? Look, you don't know. We'll make a guess. He's 6'2" and a half. His kick is good. Parker, this time on his chest.
We love Marcus Parker.
He's really starting to have an influence. His kick into the pocket. Holton, difficult one for him to juggle. He gets it back again. He had to beat 2 people. Cassidy, not taken high. And the umpire will come in and say, give it to me, gents. And we'll have a ball up. As the SFL, even though they're 2 goals down, have probably had the better of this quarter and certainly the better of the last 5 minutes.
Certainly has. Parker, Polanowski wins it down, only as far as the Toby Cohen roving, and it runs out of bounds. We'll see a boundary throw in.
Trent Stanton and Adam Duff, probably the 2 stars in this Old Scholars team, have been both quiet.
Yep.
Adam Duff, I think, has Theodore Janes, was on him for a little while. I don't know who's running on Duff at the moment, maybe no one.
So
often that's what happens in the Old Scholars.
Parker,
no one runs on him.
With a big fist, down towards his teammates. Marty Allison's got this one, throws it on the boot very quickly. Where's Holton? Porter's down there. Big tackle laid on him. That's nice stuff on Brad Joseph. Out it comes. Toby Cohen's trying hard. Lukey Adams is in there too. And we'll see a ball up.
Marty Allison is a real challenge, isn't he, for the Old Scholars at the moment.
And fit. He looks so fit right now.
Ball up here. Polanowski with the ruck. Adams with a handball. Didn't release it. It's going to move potentially into Cohen. Tied in the pocket. Gets it onto his right boot. Didn't have a lot to room. Holton nearly grabbed it. 2 Signet boys.
Behind.
I think it went through for a point. Yes, it did. So Southern Footy League, they're 11 points down. Most of the attacking is going their way at the moment. To the left-hand side of the screen. Letitia side of the ground. Mark's been dropped. Picked up, though, by Langford. He's had a good quarter, Langford. Goes up towards Adams. Adams off half-back. Dodges one. Clever. Handballs over the top. And unfortunately, Polanowski was standing still. County kicks it back in. Where's Holton? No, can't get it. Potter falls near him. Picked up again by Brodie Langford. And now the Southern, I should say the Old Scholars, have some space and time.
They do, through Louis Franks, who has a very interesting bounce.
He wanted to bounce with the other hand, I think. He changed his mind.
And then throws it up through the fingertips of Blaisley. Livingston gets a hold of it. Now as a party, back to Blaisley. Blaisley quickly up the line. That's a horrible kick. And it finds Alex Cook. Cook goes into the middle of the ground. Oh, Payson arriving late through the fingertips of Briggs. Briggs down towards Gilmore through his fingertips. Callanan now off the ground. Quick kick forward. Leading the race down there is Harry Richmond. Callanan does well to keep it in, and happy to see it across the line is Blair Wardlaw. We'll see about it.
I'll tell you what, Blair Wardlaw is happy to see that over the boundary line, because Callanan was on his standing up and lurking there. Callan's just lost a fraction of speed, hasn't he? And that was a real advantage from him when, you know, he's played so much football. We've got to throw up here. Judd County in the ruck. Coming in late was Briggs. They're going to have to be clever here just to work this one. Unfortunately, it goes through for a behind.
Talk about slowing it. He's 36. Give him a break.
No, not really criticising his age. Just lost a little bit of his speed, which was one of his great advantages. Siggins playing back in defence at the moment as a party. He's had a good quarter for the Southern Football League. Captain of Hobart kicks it high up to half forward. Potter coming out, drops the mark. Good contest there. Potter goes, lays a tackle again. Done. Southern Footy League. Louis Franks. Louis Franks' kick is really good. Claude Corso. Is he ever this close to goal?
Very good with those symbols above his waist.
Yeah, been critical.
Not so good.
Yeah, there's a bit of joking between, but anyway, symbols. Claude Corso possibly too far out to score. He's tight in a pocket, and the crowd has really built up here. Most of those people just on the hill. Corso kick stays right. It's never going to come back that far and out of bounds. I should say behind.
A couple of ambulances here as well, so obviously for those 2 concussions.
Let's hope both players are okay. And this game's a little early in the year too, isn't it, Tubes? They talked about it was very late last year, and so far, you know, hopefully everyone's fine.
Out it comes now for the SFLs. They move it forward through Rawson. Rawson goes to Cassidy. Cassidy's a chance to kick it from here. He's a beautiful kick of the footy, then sends it down towards Holton, and Holton with a double grabber. He'll go back from about 35 metres out. Tough angle though. Hard to kick goals from that pocket, Peach.
Holton isn't always the best set shot. He needs confidence sometimes, Holton. And this is his first set shot on goal. He's a good kick. Super footballer. Likes to kick goals and snaps. So we'll see what Holton does here. He needs the confidence with this one. That looks good, doesn't it?
No.
Oh, it's cheeking to the right.
I thought he displayed that one a little bit, but that's okay.
So Holton with an opportunity, gone begging there with his first set shot on goal, but Cassidy and Holton working well in combination. Cassidy coming a long way up the ground. Holton playing a little deeper at the moment. Kick goes high. Garvey, not marked, punched over the top. Fisher just keeps it inside the North Hobart confines. Running around there and keeping it is Cameron Johns for the Southern Footy League. And the umpire will come in just in front of our commentary position. And what is a lovely day here in southern Tasmania. The capital looking splendid from the Duff-mobile.
Starting to chill off here a bit too, Peach. It's been a magnificent day.
Well, yeah, the cloud's just gone at the moment, hasn't it?
Briggs.
Sorry, as a party.
You go.
As a party now, loses Adams for the Old Scholars. Just kicking and hoping. Deep, looking for Callanan. Just not enough space for Ian Cullen at the moment. Sometimes likes the larger confines of grounds like Boot Park and Gilston Bay, where there's a little bit more space for him to run around, and he's got some close checking. Him and Stanton haven't had the influence that we may have thought. As Garvey in the ruck. County, Briggs, just kicks it into a bit of space. It's good. Gilmore comes out. Then he falls over. Picking up and coming out is Blair Wardlord. He's had a good quarter. Blair Wardlord through Kobe. Cowan. Cowan goes further afield. Nice run then on that occasion by Cameron Johns. This is good. Cowan again. Cowan's kick just a little short, but it's worked for Potter. Stayed on his feet. Cassidy, calm under pressure. And a brilliant mark. Well, that might have been dropped by Marcus Parker. Coming in, providing some support is Rawson. He goes to his ground. Now handballed out, but not particularly to anyone. Coming in late and applying some pressure was Tom Roberts, who's been a fraction quiet, and now it's been released from the Old Scholars.
Now they come through our Corso. Sends it long into the direction of Wilson, it was, but it come down to Livingston. Livingston got his quick kick away. That cruel bounce for our Corso. Got it off Adams, and our Corso from long, deep and far kicks it behind, but I think there's a free kick.
I think you have to kick it back on the ball. It's not downfield.
No, it'll be our Corsos, just a late tackle.
He
Held on a bit
had a
too
set
long.
shot a minute ago and struggled. We'll see what he do now. Well, it was a tight pocket, but it looked like he just struggled with the distance we see on the Mood Food replay. Yeah, pushing it back. So good decision from the umpire. Not downfield, always sometimes hard to call as the umpire lifts his head and looks at the neck contest, but kept his head down and saw that one. So Claude, what do you reckon, Tubes? You know him well. Do you reckon he can make it?
I think he's 50-50, to be honest.
And he knew it as well.
He knew it. And then
that's
why
horrible.
Kick it to Brodie Langford, who's a known goal kicker.
Well, he can kick it easily 50 metres. Always smiles, Brodie Langford, on a football field, doesn't he? Always looks like he's enjoying himself.
He's always got his mouth open, Brodie Langford. He's always
in between talking, is
hot on the chirp, Brodie. And yeah, I tell you what, when he's looking at being so free down in the forward pocket like that.
I think he surprised himself. He was so free.
Yep.
He's missed it.
Yeah.
That's horrible. So both teams missing some opportunity, Tubes, in this quarter, but still entertaining, free-flowing. And it's been the contested marking, I think, of the Southern Footy League's been the highlight of this quarter. Still leading, though, the Old Scholars.
Yep.
Blair Wardlord having a good battle on half-back. He's spent some time as that's gone through the hands of Azzopardi and out of bounds. Blair Wardlord spent some time on Rat Gilmore. Just calmed him down, but it's been the kicking or the uncontested kicking. You've got one of your mates on screen to have you.
No, I just love that in the distance there. The dad.
Is that you, mate?
With a tin, got his daughter in front of him in the pram in shorts. Got the big jacket on, having a beer.
You know what's changed in the last few years? Half-time, lots of girls kicking the footy. Mum's out there as well, which I think is outstanding.
Oh, it's wonderful.
There's a hole here.
Blaisley took the mark anyway.
Tell you what, Blaisley's really, he's had about a 35 minutes, sorry, not the whole game. Gee, dangerous kick. But he's had a really good game as going to his knees as Rawson. Briggs looked for some support, tried to find Brodie Langford in tight. Duff was tackled high. The umpire just missed that one as Kobe Phillips comes in and lays a tackle. And a good 30 seconds of contested footy as Narco from the Southern Footy League. Is he Sorrell's only player here today?
He is. Yep. He is. Yep.
He's had a pretty good game.
He's had a great season as well. Just Narco. So down it comes. Speak of the devil. He's got it here now, and he slips underneath. That was beautiful by him. Kicking it forward. Sliding in, though. The Old Scholars are going to get it here, but it's come out now. There he is, Tom Roberts. Down towards the big man, Holton, who takes the mark.
There's your Tommy Roberts again.
And I tell you, he's so calm. I love watching him play footy because you never know. You think he's going to get destroyed in a tackle, and he's just so smooth.
And he's pretty skinny. You're right, he has more time. It's a bit about balance, I suppose. But he always makes good decisions. So he looks like he has more time because his decision-making is so good. And we know his kicking is good. There's Holt directly in front. Now there's some confidence. I mentioned Ben Holt. He likes set shots, but he needs some confidence from them. A bit like Shaq on the foul line. You get a couple in him, and he suddenly gets confident. He goes from 50 to 55% accuracy. And Holt gets one back here for the Southern Footy League. I reckon they've had a better quarter than the Old Scholars.
Yeah,
hasn't necessarily come on the scoreboard. They've had a better quarter though.
Tell me this, Peach. Traditionally, the Old Scholars is an amateur. It's an amateur league.
Yep.
The Old Scholars is an amateur league traditionally. Fitness. How much does that come into it?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, they've got some older players, I suppose. Like you said, like the Old Scholars, when I started watching them around about 13, 14 years ago, had a lot of players in their 30s, had a lot of guys that were old, you know, school reps now playing with their mates, and they weren't as fit. It's probably changed a little bit over the last 4 or 5 years as that kick comes in, looking for Holton again, who steams out. He's got Briggs on him at the moment. Handballs off to Parker. We've called those players on many occasions today. Holton with a tackle late. And that siren there indicates it's half-time. There is plenty of feeling as Briggs takes on Holton in front of the change rooms there. And that was a wonderful finish to the quarter, Tubes Taylor.
A great quarter, a great half of footy. Old Scholars up by 6. The SFL struggling a little bit with their delivery inside their forward line. They've got some great targets down there in Holton, Potter and Cassidy. I'll be very keen to see what happens in the next half. We'll quickly go through the goal kickers. Alex Gilmore's got 6, Lewis Franks has 1, and Caden Wilson has 1 for the Old Scholars. For the SFL, it's 2 to Marcus Parker, then singles to Marty Allison, Michael Cassidy, Jai Bierman, Theodore James, and Ben Holton. So a 6-point margin here at halftime, Peach. Who wins?
Well, I actually don't know. So I need to see the rest of the game. Just throwaway line.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about some of the players in the Southern Footy League that maybe aren't necessarily stars that we thought were going to have a big influence today. Toby Cowan from Cygnet's been fantastic. Callum Rawson's run been elite. Cameron Johns off half-back, a really wiry player. He's been able to take contested marks and has been fantastic. We mentioned some of the bigger players. Jai Bierman's had a good game, and Liam Azzopardi, who's a really good second quarter and started to have some leadership off half-back. Those players, are certainly being the stars, but it's a forward line that has the potential, doesn't it? You've got Tom Roberts, you've got the big hands of Holton, who started to get into it, and one of our favourites here at Duff TV, Michael Cassidy. Yeah. There's a lot of potential in this game anyway. Yeah, it could go either way. All right, we'll take a quick break here at half-time. We will show you the replays of the best, but some of the highlights of the last two quarters. But first up, we're going to replay those interviews from earlier in the game with the coach, Alex Gilmore of the Old Scholars Football Association, and the coach, John Murray from the SFL. All right, we'll take a quick break here at Duff TV. Stick around, second half of the SFL versus Old Scholars challenge match here from North Hobart coming up next. All right, we're in here at the Old Scholars rooms with the coach, co-coach, Rat Gilmore. Welcome, mate.
Thanks, mate. Good to be here. It's a good day for footy.
It's a great day for footy out there today. Very exciting to see an Old Scholars rep side together, mate. What's that mean for you?
Oh, it's huge. As we said this week, we're not. Nothing's guaranteed about when this game's going to happen again, or if it does. So, yeah, I mean, it's a good feel amongst the boys. We've trained a few times together. A little bit, a bit uneasy first off, because we're all rivals week in, week out. But the group's come together well, and it should be an exciting day. And you've got buy-in from every club? 100%, yeah. Me, Beamer and Wingnut obviously put a squad together first off initially, and we've got every player that we wanted to play in this room today. So no one's backed out of playing. And I know you're the coach of the Richmond side, but it must be exciting to have such a group of talented players to coach yourself. We're just laughing about it before, that it'd be nice to have this side week in, week out, mate, to run out with you. But it's just good getting up close and personal with some blokes, as I say, that you go to war with week in, week out. They're your teammate for the day. It's just a great experience for a lot of these blokes in the room. Yeah. Well, Rat, all the best today, mate. And I don't know, I've tipped you guys by about 5 points. I reckon it's going to be pretty tight. What do you think? Yeah, the heat will be on early in the game. The heat will be on, but I genuinely think that we've got a better overall list. A lot of good experienced players in here. Yeah, us by 5 or 6 goals. Oh, there we go. Alex Gilmore with the prediction. Good on you, mate. All the best. Let's go and have a chat to the SFL boys. John Murray here from the SFL. You're coaching for your second time, mate. A bit more buy-in, though, this year. Yeah, mate, we've got a lot of redemption to make up. The buy-in last year probably wasn't up to the level of football we wanted. But, look, as you've probably seen with the players we've got on paper today, we're up for a fight. Yeah, you certainly got a great list there with the buy-in from all clubs, mate. How are you feeling about the Old Scholars? Well, look, as they've said about themselves, they have got a lot of talent. All right, they've got a lot of experience. But in saying that, I believe we've got the same team or talent to match them on the day. So how have you picked your side? There's a lot of great players here today. A couple that are probably missing through injury and things like that. But how have you picked the side this year? Well, mate, I'm a big believer of make sure you've got a good spine. So I picked my key position players, and then I've also tried to pick a bit of speed and also skills and some good long kicks. So you haven't picked on names either, you've picked on form going through the SFL season so far? Oh, definitely. So that was one of my big things. I know from the past some players have got a buy-in due to the fact that they've done things in the past. But look, I've went off form, I've went off speed, and I've also gone off their ability to win the ball. The Old Scholars have been fairly mouthy. We just spoke to Alex Gilmore. He reckons he's got you guys by 5 or 6 goals today. What do you say to that? Well, look, mate, I'm not going to buy into none of that. I believe our side here, we've got here on paper, will win the game. Simple as that. But look, if they want to try and get out under our skins by throwing them comments out, it's not working at all. Rightio, well, there we go, John Murray, tight-lipped, great mate. All the best for today. And any players you want us to keep a special eye on? Mate, 22 that's been picked, they're all good enough to stand up on the day. So let's hope for a good contest. All right, all the best there, John Murray. Thanks very much, John. And let's cut to the game. This is going to be, I'm pumped. I'm fired up. Forward, handballs off quickly to a running Langford. Goes long down inside forward 50, and Gilmore with strength. Bit of push and shove there, don't mind that. Trent Standon's down there too. And footy in.
He kicks them really well from 40 metres.
Just massages that one through the goals, and he's up and about, and he's fired up there, the Rat. First blood goes to the Old Scholars, and look at Jake Briggs get around him. Wasn't that a brilliant tackle on half forward?
Well, Jake go with Cassidy, but at the moment he's just losing his position as Cassidy. It's just constantly on the move. As you see, a rock contest, a quick snack on goal by Parker. Is he going to get the first? And he does, the boy from New Norfolk. Marcus Parker with one, the SFL with one, and it's a point of difference here early.
Well, that's just wise from the big man, Marcus Parker, the boy from up New Norfolk.
You know, they're not matched up.
Al Corso with his cymbals goes long, deep inside forward 50 and finds Gilmore on a lead. Beautiful work there from Claude Al Corso. Ruck contest in the middle was pretty even, but it was well read. And how about that kick?
Once again, it's kicked into a bit of space, and Barwi right on his tail, but you can't defend that, can you, Tubes? When the ball goes into...
Forward 50, Gilmore punched away nicely, though. It was standing. Now a chance for Langford. He's been chased by Azzopardi right in the pocket, spends one round. Gilmore in the right spot, worked it beautifully. And it looks like Barwick might have injured himself here.
Just have a look at Alice Gilmore now. So he's directly in front. He's kicked 2 goals already. He has 2 kicks. That's his 3rd. He's made the umpire go a long way to his right, but all he does is come back to the middle and stick 2 fingers out, and Gilmore has 3 here in the early stages. See how it has marked it.
Yeah, I think a free kick there against big Marcus Parker for a push.
A little bit of a block, so deep in defence here. There's the Old Scholars who had to be clever. Straight to Parker. He's turned it over from 35, kicks a goal, and it is goal for goal. Parker with 2 to the right of screen in the Argyle Street, in the Horigori Den, and to the left-hand side of the screen, Alice Gilmore has 3. What a
little punch kick. Who cares? It's all fair. Anyway, Caden Wilson will put this one back, and he does. So Caden Wilson kicks his first goal, and the Old Scholars shoot out to a 13-point margin. SFL 2 straight, OSFA 4-1-25.
The Old Scholars had the footy. Because he's able to get free. He likes playing that sort of loose man. But now and again when Cassidy has, he struggles.
Good from Langford off to Phillips, who drives it inside forward 50, floating across the pack. There's no need for that. He's out.
I think Murphy's down here, but I think this was relative. It was okay. I think it was a 50-50 contest. Murphy knew. Also, he's had 3 opponents. He may kick his 4th.
So Gilmore, from about the same position that he kicked one earlier, goes back and makes no mistake. He's kicked 4 straight. Alex Gilmore puts them out by 19 points.
And he's obviously got out of his head around here. Got a really good ruck contest at the moment. Polanowski probably just winning it as a clearance kick there by the Southern Football League. Cassidy trying to win front position. Luke Potter's been good. Potter handballs off to Marty Allison. Marty Allison from 40 metres kicks a wonderful response for the SFL. And the fans just on the left-hand side here in the Duff position.
Geez, they need another one here as it comes out for Rawson, down towards Parker, over the back. Quick one for Holton. Here's Cassidy from a tough angle, bends it around and kicks a beauty.
Wow.
Wow. Absolutely ripping stuff from the captain, Michael Cassidy, and that's what this contest needed. It's only 7 points the margin.
Left foot daft in there, as he always is. Now it's on to Fisher. Fisher's kick, about a metre short of what that needed to be. He's going to get it back again. Fisher with a bit of space, a driving kick to Gilmore.
Geez.
And he's marked another one.
He is so good on the lead, isn't he?
And he's got...
Anyway,
we'll see late in this quarter. Gilmore kicking for 5 from 45 metres out. Stuttering approach. It doesn't make a difference what he does today. He has 5, Alice Gilmore.
He's on track for 20 goals.
He's having a good day in the Southern Football League. He kicks onto 1-on-1. Parker climbs up high, still gets it, and then gets one in the face. Didn't actually dispose of it. Ben Holton knocks it off, finds Theodore James, kicks it long, and kicks a response. And a late goal here for the Southern Footy League. They're only 6 points down, Tubes Taylor. Yeah. They're 6 points down from and it's Alex Gilmore's show.
Garvey wins it down. Out it comes here for the SFL handball. A little bit too much on it over the top. Kobe Phillips gets it away. That's a great tackle. And that's holding the footy. Bullock. Phillips goes in towards Symbols there. Our Corso grabs it with 2 big Sibijan Symbols and then sends it inside forward 50. And here's the first time we're calling Ian Callanan's name.
He got tackled once and he had, I think, 1 handball in the first quarter. He was a little vocal, the right position initially, but that 1 extra step was good from Gilmore. Just that bit of body contact to get that space.
Tubesy tells it like it is, and Gilmore kicks his 6th.
I'm running out of space here for Gilmore on our little score sheet.
I started on the very far left-hand side of the page.
You knew that something big was going to happen
today. And this is well within his distance too. Plays on quickly, but he decides against it, goes down towards Holton, who goes bang with a 1 juke.
He's cheated there, Holt. That went to the ground. But he looked like he was confident. And the umpire was on the other side, and he's paid the benefit of the doubt to the bloke who knew. We'll give it to him. He just pushed off. And there it goes, on the ground. No stuff. It actually spent more time on the grass in his hands.
Oh, wow.
Where's that gone?
Down Burnett Street.
Down Letitia, yep. Now, it could be on the Burnett into that one of the worst intersections in Tasmania.
So Frank's...
Doesn't he? And unfortunately, that occasion, so the Old Scholars couldn't do anything. We'll just see this kick on goal. That's not bad. It's sneaking back in.
Jai Bierman.
And Bierman, a surprise packet. The youngster kicks a goal.
Well, it's 1 for 1 here at North Hobart Oval.
Good contest as we see Jai Bierman to kick the goal early in this quarter, applying some great pressure then on Louis Franks. And has won a free kick, Louis Franks. Just hold. There it is, Louis Franks. It's going to go straight through. And unfortunately, no one can defend that. And the Old Scholars just sneaked that lead out to 2 goals.
So, magnificent stuff from Louis Franks. I ripped into him because he needs to put on some tanning lotion, because look how wide he is. Out it comes now for the SFLs. They move it forward through Rawson. Rawson goes to Cassidy. Cassidy's a chance to kick it from here. He's a beautiful kick of the footy, then sends it down towards Holton, and Holton with the double grabber. He'll go back from about 35 metres out. Tough angle, though.
Makes good decisions. So he looks like he has more time because his decision-making is so good, and we know his kicking is good. There's Holton directly in front. Now there's some confidence. I mentioned Ben Holt. He likes set shots, but he needs some confidence from them. A bit like Shaq on the foul line.
As the 2 teams make their way back onto the playing arena, would you please now make your way off the playing arena? Thank you very much.
So, third quarter about to get underway. What would have been the message at half-time there, Aaron Peachy Roberts?
I think the message would be similar, a little bit about too many uncontested kicks into the inside the forward 50. I'll tell you what, I reckon Ben Beams and Alex Gilmore from the Old Scholars are a little worried about Ben Holton, Luke Potter and Michael Cassidy, 3 of the best forwards in community football in Tasmania. However, I think the middle of the ground is pretty even at the moment. Adam Duff, if he lifts this quarter, could see a big game. It's Garvey in the ruck. County wins it down. Duff, the man we just spoke about, gets a handle away. County clever, just gets his left hand onto that. That was nice work from him. Pushing off, that looked like Blair Wardlord. In fact, it's going back into Theodore James. Onto his left boot, looking for Cassidy. Well, there we go. We mentioned him. And look at that body position from Cassidy. That's outstanding.
That's what he does, doesn't he? As he swings around onto that favoured right, sends it low in the Holt direction. Garvey got in the way.
Did Garvey get in the air then?
Yeah, a little bit. Garvey picks it up, handballs back, finds his man in Franks. Going long. Big fist away from Richmond and co. Standing went the man. Left the ball behind. Brodie Langford over the footy. Nice work by James. Tapped it out. Found his man in Rawson. The ball goes forward to Holton. Chipping across though, Brad Joseph just keeps it in. They all fly, no one gets a hold of it. Langford punches away. Callanan caught one high and then went for the free kick. Now the kick goes forward from Rawson. There he is, Marcus Parker. Little dicky one out into here now, and Nathan Hardy will clear for the Old Scholars.
All right, so the Old Scholars get it away. Good contest up forward. Fisher nearly marked. Clever by him. And winning it was Jake Briggs with a handball, and couldn't find a target. The only target he could find was the boundary line. So early stages here. Kick in it. And a very entertaining challenge match, whatever that means. It is a representative football game. We've been looking forward to this game for several years. We were pumping up last year, Tubes Taylor and I, as the fist is punched away. Kobe Phillips with a handball. Just went past the hands of Brodie Langford. Nearly picking it up, Jordan Dunn, but now the Old Scholars move it forward to half forward. Just lacking a target, but it doesn't matter because it's knocked to ground. The ball's driven in. Gilmore, as he has done throughout the day, leading out from full forward and taking a mark on his chest.
And what a spot there from Standen. Just right
Brilliant.
In the hot spot, and then to send that kick in, just right at the bottom of the pack there. Beautiful work.
Do you see he actually kick that left to right then, Standen? That's brilliant.
Yeah, he is an absolute superstar, and the OHA Ships are very lucky to have him, coming off 10 goals last week.
Standen's just had a couple of touches as well in the last little while, so he's, well, what are we going to say? This has to be a sausage roll, doesn't it? Yes. Bending his back was the umpire in green, Mr. Kermit, and signals with 2 fingers. Another goal. That's 7 to Alex Gilmore.
Yeah, and even though he's kicked 7, I don't know whether he's the best on the ground.
I don't think so, but he's had the biggest influence, certainly.
Yeah,
the metrics at the moment are looking good for Alex Gilmore. 7 goals next to his name. 7 goals zip, isn't it? I don't think he's kicked. Has he kicked 1 point? I think it's,
no, 7 straight.
7 straight, all from set shots, which is an indication of the style of football that wins on North Hobart Oval. Uncontested kicks from around 60, 70 metres, even further away, to a leading forward who marks within kicking range. As the wind's out again, Rawson. He humps the ball forward, goes over the top of him. Cook into that one. Now it's picked up by Bierman. Bierman's tackled. And the umpire says, holding the football. You took too long. Now he's going to have to tick that over the man of the mark. And the Old Scholars have it.
So the ball to come out from the back line. Quick little kick out wide. Finds Franks. Arriving late was that man, Tommy Roberts. Franks from the half-back line. Sends the ball up to the far wing. And the only man going for the footy there was Cam Johns. He moves the ball into the middle. Finds James. Spinning around towards Cassidy. Just arriving late there was great work by the defender in Howard, but they fly high. Right at the right spot there is Tom Roberts. It's play on and touched. So the umpire signals at 1 behind.
We saw 2 players fly from the Southern Footy League. And the back of the pack as the players down. The back of the pack, though, was Marcus Parker. And Tom Roberts knew exactly where to be, but unfortunately was touched as the ball's been brought out here. It's quickly moved into the hands on that occasion of Trent Standard, just having a few touches down on the edge of that one. Also is Daniel Blazey. It's picked up by Azapati. Good handball from him. Finds Livingston as a party again. Just scrubs it forward, not far enough. Just enough time, should be contest. Tackle needed to be laid there by Jai Beerman, and just enough to put Wingnut off his game. Parker trying to get front position. Out a really good defensive mark from Nathan Hardy.
Nathan Hardy reads the ball so well. I've watched him many a time down at university. He just reads the play so beautifully. His kick goes long towards Garvey, who takes a strong grab. Handball's off to the running Franks. Franks on the favoured right boot. Hits up Fisher. Fisher plays on quickly. Then finds the handball through to Franks, who kept running. Now Potter gets tackled hard, and he's copped high. It's a free for the fend off, and it'll be Franks to take the kick from the middle of the ground.
Good call for the umpire, wasn't it? So Lewis Franks there. Potter was away too. Unfortunately, gave away the free kick. Gilmore! It's a Gilmore show. Is it the Gilmore girls? And the mark is taken. And once again, Blair Wardlord unable to do anything. Look at this kick into the space. Now, the only way this could have been any better, Jordan Dunn could have dropped back into that hole, and Rat is pumped. You just see he's feeling very confident at the moment.
Yeah,
and he is playing exceptionally well.
When the kick comes in there, the old scholars have this great system where they're giving Rat Gilmore a lot of space to run into.
Kick on goal. It's skewing off to the left. I think it's just snuck through.
Oh.
And Alice Gilmore grabs the jumper. It's often the Richmond jumper. On this occasion, it's a generic jumper from the old scholars. He's proud, and he's kicked 8.
I like the little touch on the old scholars jumper of the colours across the back. So that represents all of the clubs, including the Rainbows. As that kick, I thought it was yuck off the boot, but Alex Gilmore knows his shoes very well. He's kicked another one, and he's kicked 8.
Well, he is a difference at the moment. It's a couple of goals. It's just stretched here. 6.5 gone in the third quarter. And I understand John Murray, I don't think he needs to make a change. I think Blair Wardlord, I'd like to see him maybe play more of a running style game. They just need to structure it up a little bit better and apply more pressure tubes to the player kicking.
Yeah, I agree. As that fist comes away, Jai County's back in the middle. That's good to see. Out it comes to James, who got his handball just out towards Deadrock Livingston, who gets it on again now. Rawson with time as they send it inside forward 50, and back with a flight there. Great stuff by that man Nathan Hardy, who's gone back with a flight courageously as that one goes out of bounds. Now, Holton could have killed him there if he wanted.
Yeah, no, good decision from Holton. He just held it down, tried to punch. Later contest, see it on the replay. Slightly different contest, but anyway. So we're just, he's just getting up here, Hardy. He's only got hit in the end, the back of the neck, and he seems like he's okay. He's on his feet. So good news there. We've got a throw in here. As Garvey in the ruck. Marcus Parker will contest against him. Garvey over the top. Quick kick on goal, just out of there. Well, that was neat, wasn't it? He had the trainers run away from him. Mark Duncan. The reason he had no player around him because he had 3 trainers. Just move. Very sweet plays. Now the old scholars get it out to the commentary side of the ground, and the ball's marked by Dylan Grant. He goes into the middle, and they'll just hold it here for a while. And imagine the old scholars will just nuance this ball through half back, and that's one of those kicks. That's clever. Stanton wins that one. Briggs kicking into a little bit of space. Good contest down there as Ian Cullen might have been hold, could have won the free kick, but in the end, it's found the boundary line.
Certainly has. There's David Hunt there, and
he's done a lot of pacing, hunting and chewing of the nails. We've seen him a few times.
Yeah. John Murray as well. So ruck contest on half forward for the old scholars. Brought down beautifully to Briggs. Briggs got his handball away. Callanan sends it long inside 50. Now a big ruck contest. Then he flew high nicely. Langford at the bottom of the pack. Kicks are behind.
Now that's the first time that they've dropped the play back. I know it was a quick kick inside, but they managed to get a defensive player into that space where Gilmore was running. Different entry, yes. And on that occasion, it was a difficult opportunity. As Stanton marks the kick out. Really starting to get into this game is Speedy Stanton, the former Clarence champ. Kicked a bunch of goals in the 09 grand final, one of the best games I've seen. 15 minutes of footy, which destroyed Devport that day. Now he goes round 1, gets to 40. Just had a bit of pressure. A wobbly, Bernie-looking kick right into the square. Trying to run over the top of that was Cowan. Trying to lay some pressure on Richmond. Richmond had nowhere to go. And all the end, found the boundary line. Good play from Cameron Johns. Cheeky from Stan. He loves that, though.
I love watching it, too.
You know what? He probably just took one step too many than Stanton because he had a bit of space. So we've got a throw in here. Caden Wilson cruises in. Now, that should have been a goal.
Yeah, well,
Caden Wilson will not get a better opportunity. I think he was surprised. One, the umpire didn't blow the whistle for that throw not being deep enough.
No.
And secondly, he'd looking around and suddenly had no one on him and missed the easy goal.
So out the ball comes in the Cassidy direction, just slips through his fingertips. Out it comes now for Howard. Howard just hits one up, but it's going to be chopped off here by Cohen. So Toby Cohen from Signet gets called to play on. He sends it long up the wing in the Cassidy direction. Cassidy flew high. Polanowski got his handball away. Nicely finds Phillips. Phillips off to Luke Adams. Luke Adams gets tackled without it. And it'll be a free kick again.
That was sloppy, wasn't it? Because it was just needed to hold him then, and Luke Adams had no opportunity. In
deep, Siggins with the fist, out the back here now. The SFL move the ball long. Howard happy to take that one on the chest, and he'll go back from centre wing to kick it long.
Howard enjoying not have to run near Cassidy at the moment. Finds Wilson, 55 out, chips. Probably wasn't the best from Wilson because Livingston easily came off it. Narco bust his way through. Narco, great contest from him. He loves the grit.
Great tackle from Claudio Corso, though.
Look out here, where is Standard, number 18. He loves lurking near a contest. Polanowski in the ruck. Jai County got there first. Harry Richmond in there. He gets a handball out. He finds the hands of Briggs. Briggs kicks for goal. And the Old Scholars Football Association had their best lead for the game.
Yeah, just clinical from Briggs. He just found a bit of space there, and the SFL got caught ball watching.
You know
Look
what?
at that, 4 players.
They just got sucked into the contest, didn't they, the SFL? And maybe just lazy too. Just not being aware of where some of the players were, expecting that they may have won that contest. And I reckon they'll be fuming down there in the boundary line. John Murray would want a change in that because he spoke about that at quarter time.
I've got a question for you, Peach. If the Old Scholars run out and win this, what does that mean for the SFL? Because the SFL is always seen as,
you know what, Madeline Ogilvie, I think yesterday or the day before, she may have said on one of the news coverage here that she kind of predicted that they may have lost this game, but it's about building. I don't know. Southern Footy League are priming themselves to be the best comp. They've got obviously pretty much a full-time administrator. You know, that helps. But, you know, it'll really hurt them, won't it? I think it'll hurt them. And it probably shows a couple of things, that Old Scholars is now maybe the preferred competition to play in after you finish playing state league. And that's the thing that interests me the most. That wasn't the case 10, 15 years ago.
Al Corso gets a kick around the corner. Gilmore from the behind the first time in this game. Fisted across the boundary, and we'll see a boundary throw in.
Is there a call? I know the Old Scholars love their footy. They love the inner city games and those teams, traditional schoolboys team. Is there SFL divisions could be created? I mean, I imagine the Old Scholars would be against that. I can understand why.
Yeah, I just think there's too many leagues in Tasmania in football.
Well, not in the south, though. There's only 2.
Yeah, but it's still too many. Quick kick forward. Out the back here is a chance for Caden Wilson. It kicks one off his shin. He's second. And the Old Scholars now race out to the biggest margin they've had this game.
Well, the energy's been sucked out of this match, hasn't it? You just see the heads drop for the Southern Football League, their motivations maybe. 31
points.
Yeah, and Caden Wilson had an opportunity about 2 minutes ago to snap a goal. Maybe he was unexpected. We'll see on the Mood Food replay. He nearly butched it, but he's not going to get easier goals than that, Caden Wilson. And he went to tap his left chest. Just indicating they're enjoying. And I know we mentioned at the start of the coverage, I had a quick chat to Ben Beams, the camaraderie and the enjoyment and the fun that the players and the coaching staff have had around the Old Scholars. I'm sure the Southern Footy League's the same, but I reckon there's a few scars from the last couple of years from the Southern Footy League. But anyway, it's Potter who's been one of their best. The Claremont star kicks it up high. Little hold there. Now the mark's being taken by Tom Roberts. There was a hold off the ball. The umpire didn't see it, and Tom Roberts will have an opportunity to reply. And 31 points, they do need to kick this goal. Let's just see a little replay here. It was a little throw out. Siggins now in the ruck.
Tackle from my man.
But Narco just applying pressure, which is enough for Potter's kick to get in there, and an easy mark at the end for Tom Roberts. Clever. So Tom Roberts,
he'll kick it.
A noted goal kicker, loves kicking the ball from impossible spots from 45 metres. It's a wonderful looking kick, and Tom Roberts responds within 30 seconds for the SFL.
Well, they need that because the margin now back to 25 points. And if they're to stay in touch, I know there's a long way to go in this game. The quarters have been going for about 30 minutes each.
Yeah, they've been long, haven't they?
There have been a few injuries, of course, but...
Siggins in the ruck too. He hasn't played in the ruck yet today. He's a ruckman, just maybe not quite as fit this season. He had a few injuries, but I think it's a good move to get Siggins in the ruck. It just gives Jai County ability to run a bit more. Yeah. He's a really good athlete, Jai County.
I'm going to throw one at you here. I would like to see Luke Potter through the middle.
Oh, no doubt. He's a fit player. and able to cover. His aerobic capacity is high, and I think he'd be good. It's Narco and now rucking up against him. Looks like Rawson again. He's had plenty of the ball. A good smother by him. It's just on the back half of that contest. As the Southern Fleet go forward, look out for Potter or look out for Parker. One of those two. Neither of them could get it. And they should repel just for a little while here as Cook gets it out. Clever to Phillips. Phillips in the sunshine at North Hobart Oval. Drives it long. Looking up someone further upfield, Jake Briggs. And the fist coming through from Blair Wardlaw, who's moved on to Briggs. We might just get a look who's playing on Gilmore, but that was a good contest.
I reckon one of the most underrated players in the Old Scholars these days is Kobe Phillips.
Well, he's had a couple of good years, hasn't he?
I know he's had some great years and we talk about him a lot, but I don't think he gets the...
Tell you what, no one's laid a tackle on him today. He's pretty much playing free.
There we go, the Richmond boys. Adams gets a kick forward now to another Richmond coach. Captain fisted away. Bouncing ball here. Wardlaw up towards his mate. Wardlaw was the one going for the footy. It was Warrelson who got the kick, handball up, and it was their boundary throwing. Oh, we've got an important
he's been cheeky. Now, I only reserve holy trousers for massive moments. I've had a couple of good ones. Maybe if Rat Gilmore kicks 10, I'll say holy trousers.
So that man's my thing.
That's your thing, mate.
That's my thing, right?
It's Stanton trying to find a bit of space where there's not a lot. Gets back again, tight in the pocket. Dishes off the handball. Quick snap towards goal, and fortuitously dropping into the space there is Jake Briggs and runs in and gets a response for the Old Scholars Football Association. And that hurts the SFL.
Well, it really hurts them. No pressure on that. I was trying to figure out who it was getting the kick out, and that was incredible stuff from me and Callan. Watch this from Standard. Gets tackled.
And he gets up again. It's his second effort here.
Quickly he gets to his feet. And then Callanan, that kick is
brilliant.
Clever.
Tell you what's not clever is Briggs. No one stood on the mark. They've just dropped a bit their back half. The SFL were on top in that second quarter, and they have definitely dropped away. And imagine, as I mentioned, the scars may be coming through, although there's only one player who played last year, and that's as a party.
Is that true?
He's the only one who played. I was trying to think on the way down the car today, and there's a high tackle maybe on Adams. So good call. He's been thrown in the tackle, so he'll get a free kick. Rowan Heron played. The guy from Signet, it'll come to me in a second. The star has gone up for the Tigers. I can't think of Elijah Reardon, and I don't know if there are any other consistent big-name players. And now it's turning into a bath here as Ian Callan has the mark and an opportunity to extend this closer to 6 goals.
I laughed when Alex Gilmore said to us at the start of the game that it was going to be 5 or 6 goals. Well, hasn't he made me look
he could look a fool if it's 10.
Yeah, well.
Ian Callanan, he's really having an influence, him and Stanton. The former players at Clarence are now with OHA. Kick on goal from 45 metres. Now the umpire's moved late. Doesn't matter. It's a goal. Callanan has one. And the Old Scholars are really breaking this game open in this third quarter.
Well, it's a 6 goal to 1 quarter. And that's been the difference. They have looked so dangerous. I criticised the midfielders in the Old Scholars in that second term. Said that they drifted off out of it. Not anymore.
Well, how do they get back into this tubes? I mean, Narco's been good in the middle. Marty Allison's been a bit quiet, hasn't he? Maybe they can get him in the middle. I don't disagree. Luke Potter on the ball. Could be fabulous.
Yeah, I mean...
Ben Holton's been a bit quiet. Jack Siggin's now into the ruck, but I just feel like some of their bigger noted players, they've got plenty of goal kickers, haven't they? They've got plenty of players to kick goals. Maybe the look you need to look back on half-back is Harry Richmond just got knocked and clever handle, misses Daft. Now it's moved in the hands of Dunn, trying to get a bit of run. Now that was a high tackle. As unfortunately coming through Brady Langford looked to lay it and got Theodore James a fraction high. He goes wide, finds Jordan Dunn. Now Cassidy, can he lift the team? Every time it gets to him, he looks to be doing something. Looks for Parker, but too easy.
Nathan Hardy's played a great game today. I think he's beaten Parker in the later stages of this game. Parker was good early.
Yeah, I think Parker, it's maybe just not getting the influence that he needs, but it's a bit of a mismatch here as Jai Bierman's got the mark, sloppy play.
So the 16-year-old from New Norfolk in a tough pocket to kick a goal from. The only person I've seen kick a goal from here is Alex Gilmore and Brendan Favola. He goes the check side, just a little bit too much bend on it and behind. Margin back to whatever it is, 36 points.
Okay, so Old Scholars with a commanding lead. Southern Footy League obviously need to reply, and they've got plenty of avenue, plenty of goal kicking going forward. But unfortunately, as Daff loses it. Wardlaw kicks for goal. And shades across to the left-hand side and out of bounds on the full. An unfortunate miss because it was Callum Rawson, I should say. Callum Rawson is dangerous. Now that kick is kind of sloppy. Maybe both teams are a fraction tired. Trying to run it out is Lewis Franks. So the Old Scholars kick is really poor. And unfortunately, he finds Dunn. Now Dunn gets knocked by Caden Wilson, who loves to be the pushy, shovey sort of player. And he's going to just whack it high. Who's that to? Not necessarily. It's two players. Now, El Corso gets tackled then. He's claimed a mark. In fact, it's not El Corso. It's, is that Anderton? And Blake Anderton.
I thought Blake Anderton might have been injured earlier, but he's back out there, which is great to see. Ruck contest 1 down. A free kick should go against.
I reckon Polanowski's really unlucky here. He looks frustrated, but, I mean, Potter had the better position. But unfortunately, it's fraction tournament gave a little bit of a high, I think a little high touch there.
So Marcus Parker to go back, bring the margin back to 30 points. And if the SFL are to come back, I think the margin needs to be less than 30.
Yeah, it needs to be under 4 goals or close to it. Definitely under 5 goals.
It's a big kick here for Marcus Parker. And it's not bad off the boot, but it goes through for a behind.
That's a disappointing miss from Parker, but just the flow at the moment going to the left-hand side of the screen. We have mentioned there's plenty of goal-kicking potential. We mentioned at half-time or just before half-time. There are plenty of stars that can kick goals. Unfortunately, the full team at Corso then just gets it in. Adams was the man he was trying to get it to, but he couldn't get it to him. Tied in the pocket is Theodore James, I should say, tight near the boundary line, and his handball was inaccurate. He's looking for Tom Roberts and goes out of bounds.
So boundary thrown right on the forward flank for the SFL. Ruck contest in. Good from Siggins. Siggins is going to go again here. Got it away. Punches forward. Narco gets it in towards Allison. Good to see him back on the ground. Cassidy now will get that one.
That was excellent from Cassidy, although he's played on.
Little burner down towards Potter. Potter shrugs the tackle, got his handball away. Now Cassidy from that pocket. That one's out of bounds on the
Where's
full.
that gone? Up on the top of the Roy Kazali grandstand nearly. That was good from, but I'll make one mention here. At that RAS contest, they're at the back of the pack. There was 2 players there. One of those was Marty Allison. He was waiting for the ball. What SFL did actually try to move forward. They had no one to give it to.
Symbols has kicked a point.
Does he get that one himself?
I think that goes down as a rush. But Claudio Corso.
Can we get a replay on that one, Jared?
Let's take a look at that again. Have a look at this. Out of bounds on the full.
Firstly, nice work for that guy. Is he holding a pie and he's trying to kick the ball?
Yeah,
he's got his helmet on as well.
And he says to his mates, guys, I've got a pie. Oh, we missed it. Anyway, out it comes here. Just chopped off here by Tommy Roberts. He'll kick it to someone, no doubt. Potter flew high. Big punch from Hardy. Hardy goes hard. Briggs gets tackled beautifully. And the umpire says no prior opportunity.
So just go back to what I was saying before, that the SFL players have dropped back in the right position, but unfortunately, we'll maybe just see this replay here, but the actual players in the ball were trying to knock the ball forward and not release it out the back to the player who had more time and was facing the goals. Anyway, Holt tries to win it. He just dumps it out. Roberts snaps in his right boots across the face. And he'll go out of bounds and apologise. It's luckily for Claude Corso, one of our friends here at Duff TV, doesn't get to see that replay.
He'll see it. Trust me, Claudio Corso loves his own gear. He will 100% watch this game.
You know who else is becoming a fan favourite of us here today? Is that young lad doing the game. We love a good boosh. I know you talk about booshes a lot, and that's a beauty. Potter goes forward. Briggs straight to Marcus Parker on his left, kicks a beauty. Well, will that lift? The SFL on his left foot amongst a large miasma of the opposition. He snapped it out of his bootstraps.
I'll tell you what, there's not a lot of energy around that goal. That's a ripper. And the blokes from the SFL really need to get around it. Watch this.
So you got Garvey on him. Hey, Briggs tried to release it. Look at this. Duff tried to lay it, and on his left foot too. His non-preferred foot. Wonderful goal. Is that a changer for the Southern Footy League? As we see the coach there with his hands in his pocket. I think mostly to keep warm than anything.
Yeah, well, they're a top pair of jeans.
Got some nice kicks on, though, John Murray.
Top pair of jeans on John Murray. Out it comes here. Allison's getting tagged now by the looks of Briggs. A quick handball over to El Corso, who throws one on the fist down towards Kobe Phillips. He's got Cohen arriving late. Just through the fingertips there. Too late for Caden Wilson. Wilson's hurt. Anyway, play on. Now Siggins, hot below his fingertips. Nice work by Garvey. Off to Callanan. Callanan with a burner down towards Adams. Here's Gilmore. Gets tackled hard. Picked up there by Livingston. Adams spins out of trouble, then into trouble, and that's holding the footy.
Gee, that was good. The SFL then needed to apply some pressure, and it was on Adams, but also on Gilmore. And they were able just to collapse in on that one. Good football from the SFL. They've got Siggins out here on Daft.
Yeah.
This is interesting contest. Surely just kick it to Siggins. Now, Daft has to go to him, and Siggins stands there. So the tallest player in the field versus the shortest player was an interesting, intriguing.
Even now, they needed a kick there. This
he needed to run back, so good contact. Potter! He's having a good game of football, and he's moving up the field. He dishes off to Theodore Janes. Theodore Janes to half forward. He's going to look for Cassidy. Cassidy just pushed out in the tackle. He then goes and lays the tackle. Unfortunate. Bump back in again. It goes past Cassidy. Roberts. Brilliant tap to Cassidy. Cassidy on his left. One-on-one, Parker. Yes. And a few boos from the crowd, but that was a mark. Definitely mark. He controlled it. He was punched out of his hands after he marked it. And Parker. And it could be 2 in a row here for the Southern Footy League.
Well, this is what they needed, and they've done this every single quarter as they've come back in the later stages of the quarter.
Red time?
Junk time, as we call it, yeah. So he must kick this, has to kick it.
Oh, holy trousers. Holy trousers.
Yuck. Needed to kick that. How do you miss that? I love Marcus Parker, but that was rank.
Anyway. We'll get back to the footy. He deserved that goal, and it was a really good build-up for the Southern Footy League, and it was built by wonderful defence. The defence and the tackle on Parker, the pressure on Alex Gilmore, and there we go. That man too, Holy Trousers won. There are the stats that we care about here, thanks to Jerry on the pots and pans. We've got to throw up here. Jake Siggins into the ruck. He gets it down. Holt now on the ball. Just needed to handball that ball off because he had Jordan Dunn running. Gets the one contest, just misses him. Another opportunity gone begging. Parker just needed to go lay a tackle then. That was clever. And good decision-making is Louis Franks. He dishes the ball up further afield looking for Brody Langford. Brody Langford's bumped off the football. Good tackle by him. Now, is that holding the football? The umpire agrees, and it's a free kick here. And it'll be taken by Dylan Grant. Sorry, it took me a while to get it out. Dylan Grant. He finds Ian Cullen had a good third quarter. He just slows things down at 26, nearly 27 minutes gone. Good kick from Cullen. Running out is Caden Wilson. Wilson kicks it to around 40 metres. Interesting kick because they're only Southern Football League's only blue and yellow as kick comes out now to Cassidy.
Cassidy got a bit of work to do here. It's going to beat him across the line. No, he's too quick for it. Then spins the little burner around the corner. Anderton, or is that, yeah, it is, Blake Anderton on Potter. Narco arrived late and put enough pressure on the kick. That one's a little bit high up and under. Here goes Adams. Adams gets his hands free, then stripped of it. That's holding the footy. Marty Allison will take the free kick.
Adams gets tackled holding the ball very often, does he? That's 2 in about 2 minutes from him. So the pressure, Southern Football League is still trying to pressure here.
Long kick inside forward 50. Oh, massive from Cassidy.
He hasn't just beaten the 2 defenders, he's also beaten Marcus Parker.
He beat his teammate. Take a look at this on the Bennett's Petroleum Mood Food replay. What a ripper.
We've seen some good contested marks today, Tubes Taylor.
And this is what he should have done earlier. He played
you're right.
on a little bit earlier. He should have just had a kick from here.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
And that's probably why he's going back to take the kick now.
He's just inside 50. He's definitely within range of those watching out there.
Hasn't made the journey.
Well, there's a surprise. Marcus Parker misses a set shot from 15 metres, and Michael Cassidy doesn't get the journey from 47. They're 2 star forwards not being able to add to the scoreboard and get this lead under 30. Old Scholars chip their way out. Dangerous kick, but spot on. Centimetre perfect, they do say. Brody Langford out of defence. Finds Jake Briggs, the captain for the Old Scholars today. Turns. Goes around Narco with his right boot into the left forward pocket. It's a little wide though. It may stay in for Gilmore. Gilmore, clever handball. No look to Standen. Standen gets tackled. That's good work. Goes to the left, then knocked out by Fisher. Fisher, Gilmore steadies. The right pocket. Gilmore! He kicks set shots and he kicks blinders. And that is the death bell at 3/4 time. And that, wow, that hurts.
That does hurt. 32 points the margin here at North Hobart Oval. What a great goal. He's kicked 9 goals straight. Stanton, that's holding the footy for mine.
Yeah, 100%.
Umpire probably missed one there, but that's okay. Play on. They're in a better position than we are. And then he just assessed it beautifully. He slowed down, he took his time, and he threaded the needle.
Better decision-making and more efficiency, and that there is the story of the game.
Quickly go through the goal scorers. Alex Gilmore with a 9-pack, 2 to Ian, Jake Briggs and Caden Wilson. Then singles to Ian Callanan and Louis Franks. And for the SFL, 3 goals to Marcus Parker, then singles to Marty Allison, Michael Cassidy, Jai Bierman, Tom Roberts, Theodore Janes and Ben Holton.
Marcus Parker should have 4, or no, should have 5. Gilmore should have 8. And if he had to kick that last goal, it wouldn't have gone forward.
That's right.
And that's a 12-point turnaround in the space of 45 seconds.
Yeah, it is. All right, we'll take a quick break here at 3/4 time. 32 points the margin. The SFL with all of the work to do. Tubes Taylor and Peach Roberts here with you on Duff TV. Stick around. The final quarter coming up next here on Duff TV.
Number 19, Theodore James, and number 25, Benjamin Holton. Reminder that after the game, presentations will be taking place in the North Hobart social rooms.
Jordan Dunn, but now the old Scholars move it forward to half forward, just lacking a target, but it doesn't matter because it's knocked to ground. The ball's driven in. Gilmore, as he has done throughout the day, leading out from full forward and taking a mark on his chest.
And what a
touches as well in the last little while. So well, what are we going to say? This has to be a sausage roll, doesn't it? Yes. Bending his back was the umpire in green, Mr. Kermit, and signals with 2 fingers. Another goal. That's 7 to Alex.
From the middle of the ground.
Good call for the umpire, wasn't it? So Lewis Franks there. Potter was away too. Unfortunately, gave away the free kick. Gilmore! It's a Gilmore show. Is it the
Scholars have this great system where they're giving Rat Gilmore a lot of space to run into.
Kick on goal. It's skewing off to the left. I think it's just snuck
in.
through.
Oh!
And Alice Gilmore grabs the jumper. It's often the Richmond jumper. On this occasion, it's a generic jumper from the old Scholars. He's proud and he's kicked 8.
Now Rawson with time as they send it inside forward 50 and back with a flight there. Great stuff by that man Nathan Hardy, who's gone back with a flight courageously as that one goes out of bounds. Now Holton could have killed him there if he wanted.
Yeah, no, good decision from Holton. He just was in the 09 grand final, one of the best games I've seen. 15 minutes of footy, which destroyed Devport that day. Now he goes round 1, gets to 40. Just had a bit of pressure. A wobbly, Bernie looking kick right into the square. Trying to run over the top of that was Cowan. Trying to lay some pressure on Richmond. Richmond had nowhere to go. And all the end found the boundary line. Good play from Cameron Johns. He loves lurking near a contest. Polanowski in the ruck. Judd County got there first. Harry Richmond in there. He gets a handball out. He finds the hands of Briggs. Briggs kicks for goal. And the old Scholars Football Association had their best lead for the game.
Yeah.
Well, not in the south, though. There's only 2.
Yeah, but it's still too many. Quick kick forward. Out at the back here is a chance for Caden Wilson. It kicks one off his shin. He's second. And the old Scholars now race out to the biggest margin they've had this game.
Well, the energy's been sucked out of this match, hasn't it? You just see the heads drop from the Southern Football League and their motivations,
maybe. 31 points.
Yeah, and
he'll kick it.
A noted goal kicker. Loves kicking the ball from impossible spots from 45 metres. It's a wonderful looking kick. And Tom Roberts responds within 30 seconds for the SFL.
Well, they need that because the margin now back to 25 points. And if they're to stay in touch, I know there's a long way to go in this game. The quarter's been going for my thing.
That's your thing, mate.
That's my thing, right?
It's Stanton trying to find a bit of space where there's not a lot. Gets back again, tight in the pocket. Dishes off the handball. Quick snap towards goal. And fortuitously dropping into the space there is Jake Briggs and runs in and gets a response for the Old Scholars Football Association. That hurts the SFL.
Well, it really
could look a full if it's 10.
Yeah, well.
Ian Callanan. He's really having an influence, him and Stanton. The former players at Clarence are now with OHA. Kick on goal from 45 metres. Now the umpire's moved late. Doesn't matter. It's a goal. Callanan has one. And the Old Scholars are really breaking this game open in this 3rd quarter.
What's the 6?
We love a good boosh. I know you talk about booshes a lot, and that's a beauty. Potter goes forward. Briggs straight to Marcus Parker on his left. Kicks a beauty. Well, will that lift? The SFL on his left foot amongst a large miasma of the opposition. He snapped it out of his bootstraps.
I'll tell you what.
The shortest play. It was an interesting, intriguing.
Even now, they needed a kick there. This
well,
is
he needed to run back, so good contact. Potter! He's having a good game of football and he's moving up the field. He dishes off to Theodore James. Theodore James to half forward. He's going to look for Cassidy. Cassidy just pushed out in the tackle. He then goes and lays the tackle. Unfortunate. Bump back in again. It goes past Cassidy. Roberts, brilliant tap to Cassidy. Cassidy on his left. One-on-one, Parker. Yes. And a few boos from the...
So he must kick this. Has to kick it.
Oh, holy trousers. Holy trousers.
Yuck. Needed to kick there. How do you miss that? I love
pressure. Southern Football League still trying to pressure here.
Long kick inside forward 50. Oh, massive from Cassidy.
He hasn't just beat, may stay in for Gilmore. Gilmore, clever handle. No look to Standen. Standen gets tackled. That's good work. Goes to the left, then knocked out by Fisher. Gilmore steadies. The right pocket. Gilmore. He kicks set shots and he kicks blinders. And that is the death bell at 3/4 time. And that, wow, that hurts.
All right, final instalment of this game about to get underway, and I tell you what, Ben Beams, I went out to the Old Scholars, he is fired up. He is raring to go. Tube Taylor and Aaron Roberts with you here on the Duff TV live stream of the Old Scholars versus SFL game. And
Trick and Ben Beams, they win, he'll be out in the town.
Yep. Only they lose, he'll be out in the town.
Well, you know, Ben doesn't like leaving anywhere, you know, out of the Rainbow headquarters. You're eating all my jubes, mate.
I am eating all your jubes. Peak punch away there by that man. Handball back. Allison got his kick forward. Down towards Holton. Holton, who takes almost the dribbler off. It comes to the big fella. Big fist away there. Nicely done here by Tommy Roberts. Just misses the mark out of bounds.
Had a good 2 quarters, Chris Howard, in defence for Old Scholars. As Tube Taylor just getting in my way here in the commentary position as young lad about to throw it back into play.
Getting in your zone, mate.
Yeah, well, you've been silly my tubes, and now as Parker, Duff gets on the end of that tap. Kicks it towards the boundary line. Will it stay in? No, it won't. It's out of bounds in front of Kobe Phillips, the youngster, playing in the Richmond colours with this. He's just wearing a casual sweater there underneath his Old Scholars jumper. No long sleeves. Another throw in again. Garvey in the ruck. Potter will contest against him. Looked like Duff got caught high. Actually might have been by one of his own teammates. Quick handball out. Won by Cameron Johns. And unfortunately, Nathan Hardy again, Tubes.
He's been so good down there.
He's been good in contested situations, but also he's got some free kicks, hasn't he? As Old Scholars go out again. Good contest then as Jai County unfortunately giving away a free kick.
Not sure what for.
Jake Briggs will take it.
Briggs sends it down the line, only in front of Kobe Phillips, and we'll see a boundary throw in right at centre wing. So
Beams has been talking about this game for over 12 months. He's been saying how good, and he's really passionate about Old Scholars footy. Former Glenorchy coach, so he's not just exclusive, you know, just about Old Scholars. He's, you know, played with the Devils and obviously won a grand final at Williamstown and played in a grand final for Melbourne. But he loves the Old Scholars, loves the comp.
Langford with a scrubby kick forward. Out it comes for Blaisley. He can't quite get a hold of it. Worked under the ball there. Oh, he wasn't happy about it. Caden Wilson got it forward, but now a chance for Wardlaw. Handballs back to Livingston. Livingston just chips it up. Out wide finds Blaisley. Blaisley's got numbers inboard if he wants it. Goes in that direction a little bit high, too high, possibly. No, mark taken nicely there by James. James looks to transfer play out towards Jai County. County takes the mark, and now they look to move the ball forward. Big kick up towards the big fella, Siggins. Siggins takes it at half-back. Now they zigzag the ball up the North Hobart Footy Oval. Out it comes there for Allison to Roberts. Roberts can kick it from here. He chips it up instead and goes down towards Potter, and Potter takes the mark in the pocket.
You mentioned his goal, his kicking for goal. I should say his decision-making. That was a precision kick, wasn't it? He looked, he took an extra couple of steps, he steadied, probably nearly in range. He decided he had Potter, who's got such a good set of hands. It was a really nice passage to play off half-back. Let's see what Luke Potter can do. Luke Potter can kick a goal. So Southern Footy League, the heartbeat is there. And if it's still there, there's some hope. High fives. They've certainly got the forwards that can win and kick a bag of goals. Unfortunately, there is a man who's kicked 9 goals at the other end of the ground, and a very good midfield / half forward line, which have had at times a too easy run here for the Old Scholars.
So 98 plays 72.
Is that Luke Potter's first as well, which is a bit of a surprise?
Yeah, well,
he's had a good game. He's taken some good marks. So he hasn't. He did move a long way up the ground at different stages to get a kick, and on that occasion he was deep. But I think he's been certainly held his head up high here for the Southern Footy League.
well, they need a few more goals like that if they're to come back here, the SFL. Garvey up against Siggins. Garvey wins it down, just takes it away out to Langford. He's done that so many times out there at the Ships. Our Corso versus Cohen. Cohen gets a fist in there. Blaisley, quick handball out, and a little push off nicely done there by Bullock. And now County sends the ball long. Callanan's there. Potter goes in at the body, pushing the back, no free kick. Big tackle laid by Bunga Langford, and Rawson ducks under, and we'll see a ball up.
Might have been a push out there on Potter, but maybe a good decision from the umpire in the end. So in the middle of the ground, Brody Langford will probably have to go. I think it's actually Garvey in the ruck contest. Put his hand around there, just running past that. Siggins doing a bit of roving. 2 players going with a lot of enthusiasm is Garvey, who's had a really good day in the ruck. He's competed against Jack Siggins, who's a tremendous ruckman. He's got a little bit of ink there on his, I'd like to say biceps, on his pale arms. There's a little push out again. That was definitely a push out. So Siggins has probably just won the ruck contest here.
Needs to either send this long or send this laterally, and he goes halfway. That's a great kick to Cassidy, who comes out and marks it with a sliding knees, strictly ballroom style. Now he looks inboard. Oh, that's an interesting kick, but it works out okay. Bierman takes the mark, and he's 16 years old, this fella. I keep bringing that up, but that's unbelievable. He's playing 16-year-old. He's playing rep footy.
In a good footy team. He's coming from a good senior footy team in Norfolk too. So he's shining amongst some pretty useful footballers there. And he's directly in front. His opportunity to kick a second goal. And this will be 2 goals for the quarter. Very direct, deliberate approach. He's kicked it. So Southern Footy League, the heartbeat increases. And they get back within sniffing distance here. The Old Scholars still have a commanding lead.
It was a 7-2 third quarter, right?
And it could have easily been 4-3. I mean, it wasn't that big, but it was just the efficiency of the Old Scholars, slightly better decision makers, and a bit of class from Standard and Cullen at different stages, and Gilmer up forward. But this is a nice bit of football. They've had equally as pleasant styles of football and sort of transitions, SFL. And, well, do you think there's still a chance? I would have thought.
I reckon Siggins moving into the ruck.
Agreed, 100%.
Is huge.
Yep. So the SFL, get it out. Narco in a chase down here. It'll be interesting to see how that one goes. Misses him. Off half-back. Now that kick, is it going to stay in play? Now it's 1 on 4. Standard had to beat 4. He got his fist to it, and he beat 4.
That was excellent by Speedy Standard. Absolutely incredible stuff by him. As you said, 4 around him, and he was the single too, one in the 5 dice.
He had a good position. He knew exactly what to do. He old-fashioned think the Cloaklers has killed it. Olenowski tries to get it. Knocks it out by Brody Langford into a bit of space. Goes past as a party. Then he lays a tackle. Stanton loves these opportunities. Brilliant from Stanton, and finds Wilson 10 metres out. Could have blazed away for goal. Didn't. Found a player in a better position to more advantage. And now it's Wilson, opportunity to kick another easy goal for him.
I think the umps might have missed one there. A bit of a throw. But anyway, they're in a great spot. They're at that lower level. We're just sitting up here
perched up in our ivory tower. Let's hope we don't have a cold day, because this van isn't overly insulated, is it? Luckily, we're both a little insulated.
I'm well and truly insulated. Caden Wilson comes in, makes no mistake. He kicks his 3rd goal. He's had one in the first, the second, and first, third, and final terms. That margin back out to 26 points.
So that's going to hurt. They got it back to 20. They kicked a couple of goals. Late goal from Alex Gilmore really sucked the wind and the energy levels out of the Southern Football League late. Actually, in fact, just on the siren of the 3rd quarter. And that goal there, and smart play from Standard, where every time he touches the football, even though he's been tackled and caught with the football a few times, when he does have a sniff and a little bit of time and a little bit of space to make good decisions, it generally results in providing opportunities for his teammates. Lost assist from him, Siggins. No one wins that one. Adams. Kick forward by Callan, who's now in the middle of the ground. Looks for one of his teammates in the Old Scholars, in Brody Langford. Langford's kick, it's been chopped off there. Braden Livingston's had a very serviceable game for the Southern Football League, hasn't he?
He's been good.
Yep, and he's got it on half back here. Just in front of the lovely Roy Kazali stand, the beautiful modelled 1960s grandstand. Just a cement behemoth, and he kicks up. Cassidy gets into front position. In fact, it's not Cassidy, it's Siggins. He gets a free kick here, Siggins, because there was a little push and a little hold, and he'll get the free kick.
Brad Joseph is off on a bounce there as that short kick comes inside, finds Theodore James. James quickly chips up. Cohen. Cohen from just behind centre for his side. Looks to send it long. That's a pretty reasonable kick in the Parker direction, who takes a nice strong grab. Now, this one needs to go long. That's a nothing kick, but it's going to work out okay.
Well, you know why it could go long? Because both the tall forwards were going for that contest, and there wasn't anyone deep. And in the end, he hit up attacking and running Jai Bierman, who's got another opportunity to kick his third goal, and it'll be second for the quarter. It's kind of actually providing a few options at the moment. It's, as you can see, Luke Potter tried to run back, but in the end, he just held onto it for a second longer, and poor checking in the end, because I think it was Dylan Grant or Blake Annan could have dropped back into that space. So the left in Norfolk from 45 metres. It looks a little short. Still a chance for Potter. It's a great mark taken by Chris Howard, though.
He does that so often. He does not.
He does it, yeah. And he's stepped up in this game, hasn't he, Chris Howard?
I say this pretty regular about Chrissy. He doesn't look like as good a footballer as he is.
Well, there's a couple of players in the Old Scholars, and we're not being cruel here, but Callan Garvey, he doesn't look quite as fit to be able to get around the ground. He gets a lot of contests, and he reads the play well. His body position is good. His tap work is good. You know, you don't have to be the prototype, do you, to be a star?
Siggins wins it down towards Allison. Allison tackles hard. That could have been holding the ball. Polanowski's got it. He sends it long down towards Gilmore. Gilmore over the back of him. Now he's got a foot race. This one should go out. Gilmore's good, though. He keeps it in. Quick, clever handball there by Wardlaw. Wardlaw didn't have the footy, and that's against
that was good by Wardlaw. He beat a man who had a lot of experience. He tapped it in front of himself, and then he just went to grab it through his hands in the air. And Ian Cullen actually grabbed him as Wardlaw kicks up further afield. It's been chipped up here by Michael Fisher. And over the boundary line in front of that man, he's about to take a snap of the action here in the Southern Football League versus Old Scholars Football Association representative / challenge match. And McLeod is important. I'm not sure the difference between challenge and representative, but anyway.
Certainly been a challenge, hasn't it, for both these sides?
It has been a grind, but it's been very entertaining. It's snuck out the back. It finds Marty Allison, who's been a little quiet, goes past Narco. Ben Holton now tries to have the ball drop into his foot. He does. Narco kicks it off the ground. He's moving the ball up towards Marcus Parker. Narco again getting to many contests. Narco again got tackled, got thrown off. Holton runs to 45. Holton tight in the pocket. This has got to be over the top and just going too far for Michael Cassidy. I thought he had that one, Cassidy, but unfortunately just misread it and threw for a minor score.
Well, 24 points of margin, 4 goals straight to the SFL.
There's plenty of time. There's 20 minutes left.
And it'd be poetic justice if it was a draw, wouldn't it, Peach, as that kick goes long. Nice mark taken there by that man in Joseph, spinning around the corner. Big fist from County. That's good. Narco now has not as much time as he thought he did. Sent it long. Holton flew high. Parker was there. Out it comes the back here. Now Franks on the left foot. Sends it out wide to Polanowski. Flew high. Did Doherty done. Polanowski dives on the footy. And the umpire says, I'll take it. Thanks, fellas.
You know what I've said a few times, Tubes? There's 2 tall forwards for the Southern Football League fly at the same time. Now, they've certainly marked plenty, but Parker then went up with Holton, and there was no one on the ground. Now, I'm not saying Parker shouldn't be going for the ball because he's got a wonderful set of hands. His job is to mark and kick goals. But on the occasion, he just need to hold back, I reckon, and not be in the contest. Because haven't seen that at the other end. The small forwards around Gilmore have stayed, and no one else has contested when he's gone for the footy, although a lot of the time he's actually ran out and taken uncontested marks. The Southern Footy League go forward again. Potter! That's a push in the back. Not paid for the umpire. And Belton Holton ensures that one's neutralised and out of bounds.
Brad Joseph's done a wonderful job on Potter. They've had a great battle, those two.
Fabulous, hasn't it?
So 25 points to margin. I think double check that scoreboard. No, it is 25 points to margin. I shouldn't doubt Jero, should I? Good work, Jerry, on the pots and pans, as Peach likes to say. Adams got his handball away. Kobe Phillips just swung at one and missed it. Oh, then caught one high. Did Tommy
He made sure
Roberts.
the umpire saw it, though, didn't he, Tom?
Yep.
He's a pretty quiet guy,
50
Tommy,
metres too. Hot on the mark.
Yeah,
well,
unfortunately, I don't know, Adams heard he needed to come back a couple of steps. He kind of just stood there. That happens now and again. It usually happens when there's about 20,000 people, not when there's about 1,200. So there's actually probably 50. There's not a bad crowd here for those that are mocking this game. As they get one back here. So Tom Roberts has had an influence. He generally does. He looks very focused. But just getting back to the crowd, 1,500 plus is a real buzz to the left-hand side. There's not a bad crowd in front of us as well.
Easy 2,000.
You reckon too?
Easy.
I reckon that's a good turnout. I reckon both competitions will be more than happy. There's no other games of community footy in southern Tasmania. There's a Devils game, that's the under-18s, that's currently on at Boot Park. And then there's an AFL game, which we don't worry about, but the Swans are playing who are they? Tassie Roos, whatever they are. We're loving this game at the moment.
The Jellyfish.
The Jellyfish. And it's 19 points, Stoops Taylor, and we're back in the middle. Now it's won here by Al Corso. Al Corso dishes it outstanding. Marks the football directly in front. 40 out. Wobbly kick playing in front. And read the drop of the floating oval bag of wind. And now he's an opportunity to respond directly after. But he decides to play on. That's an interesting kick. Well, Gilmore's not in a better position.
Well, he wanted that, though. He knew he didn't have that journey in his leg there, Speedy. You saw him just saying,
he was looking, wasn't he?
Come at me, come at me. And
this will be Matt. I tell you what, if he kicks this goal, he's going to turn around and do things with his nipples, I reckon, because he gets excited when he kicks a sausage roll, and he doesn't always have a grandstand around him, Alex Gilmore, because he plays out at Richmond. And those that know Richmond over the lovely little country ground, there's no grandstand to turn around and get the supporters going. Alex Gilmore. 10 goal coming up. It's not going to do it, and he stays in single figures, and that's his first miss, or is that, no, it's his second miss.
Second, yeah.
So 9 goals, 2. 8 of them have been set shots. 1 was an easy goal from the right forward pocket at the Letitia Street end of the ground, and the ball's been marked out here by Michael Fisher.
No, that's Livingston.
Livingston. That was dangerous, though.
Toby Cohen just misses the mark here and now puts Siggins under pressure, the big ruckman. You don't like him in the ruckman's hands down there at full back. That's where the ruckman should be. Out it comes here, Livingston, just a little bit too much on the handball for him. Got his handball away, Polanowski, clever, just touched it up. Now running out to meet it, here goes Caden Wilson. That's an interesting kick over the top towards Bunga Langford, who takes the mark.
It was good, he looked at it, he looked for Langford.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, he may not have wanted to kick it that high and put Langford under so much pressure, but he certainly saw him there. And this is an example. The ball's on half-back. You can hear as a party yelling for the ball to come out the back. They tried to knock the ball out to the side to a player who's under much more pressure. So just that style and that ability to have poise and know your starting positions has just let the SFL down at times. Ball's turned over, and now we see Brady Langford, who's a noted goal kicker.
He is. He's a great kick of the footy. Sends it home and sends it across the face. Out of bounds on the full. Hits the post.
Looked like it actually nearly hit 2 posts then, but Siggins, no, it's going to go to Joy County. So Joy County in front of the Horry Gorham stand.
Look at that. How good a look is that?
It's a beautiful ground,
to
isn't
see
it?
that on the screen again.
The sun over there, West Hobart. Now there's a hold here off the pack. It should be Luke Potter's free kick. Now just complaining on that occasion is Bradley Joseph, but it just, with that little hole, it's easy to call for the umpire. He hacks it forward, looks for Holton. Good at marking. Great grab taken there by Anderton, who's had a fabulous game of football.
Oh, trouble here, though. As they get the ball up, they had a bit more time there. Out it comes for Rawson. Rawson goes into that pocket and finds Blaisley. It's out on the full. Well,
that hurt, didn't it? That turnover and then the turnover again.
Anderton with a great grab.
He's had a fabulous day out here, Anderton, on the back up. He needed to. 20 points, though, to see on the Jackson Motor Company scoreboard. Should chip this off. Coming over the top was Polanowski. And Cassidy trying to rev his team up. Siggins, you mentioned about 15 minutes ago, Tubes, coming onto the ball, playing in the ruck. He hasn't always necessarily run the ruck contest, but just his size and
his presence.
And he's really good decision making. He's got a good football understanding in those ruck contests and obviously a lot of experience. He gets in front position, gets his right hand to it. Just pushing down there was Jordan Dunn. Ensures that he doesn't do a push in the back then, and will do it all over again. At this stage, though, the field umpire comes into play. Just forward of centre wing here for the Southern Football League. Trying to sneak that one was Bullock. Knocked off the ground. It's one out the back. It's into the hands of Franks. Franks kick. It's to Narco. Narco misses. Siggins. tries to win the ball. It's a long way for him to reach down towards the surface here. Adams nearly throws it out. Polanowski doing the ruck work now. And they have a hold up and just slowing things down. 13 minutes probably left in this game. They need to go on the next 2 to 3, I reckon, the Southern Footy League.
Yeah, I reckon. Anyway, ruck contest. Siggins punches it forward. Nicely worked by Allison. Just trying to swat it nicely. Out it comes here. Adams just a little bit too much on it. Cooked it out towards Dunn. And we'll see a ball up. Pushing shove here. Marty Allison and Jake Briggs just getting in each other. They could be twins, those two. A little bit of tap work. Ruck again. Polanowski down to Briggs. Off the ground stuff. It's just scrappy here. They'll be happy with this, though, the Old Scholars. Narco, Briggs, ball up on 50.
Southern Football League still being sucked into the contest, and that's just prevents them from getting those clean disposals out of those congested balls. So contest again as Siggins goes high into the air. The kick hasn't gone that far. As a party, handballs it off, get it back again. He probably needs just to get this ball moving forward. Just holds it clever by as a party. Good contest down there. Coming through as Cullen dishes off a handball. It was under some pressure as Joseph kicks the ball forward. And you're right, they're definitely numbers. Harry, Richmond. Now it's back to Cullen. Cullen's kick. It's just gone past Wardlaw. He might get it again. Turns around, gets it back onto his right boot, and that's clever. Finds Rawson, who's had a productive game of football. Rawson kicks it up, and Potter comes out again and takes it.
It's been a great battle between Potter and Brad Joseph. I've said it already. Great battle. Oh, Joseph again just smothers.
Potter sat on him.
Back.
That's a poor result then from Luke Potter. He's an experienced, youngish player. We'll see on the move food replay.
Just a hesitate?
Yeah, it was a little hesitation.
Now that kick goes long up the wing. Big fist from Jai County, who's moved down back. Marco ends up with it. Now a chance, here they go. Toby Cohen's got it. Out to Theodore Janes. Janes with time in the middle on the non-preferred. Pushing the back. Oh, nothing doing, said the umpire.
Just missed a couple of marks, Cassie, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. It's been so good, Hardy. Now this man, Kobe Phillips, who's been quiet, tackled. That's a hold in the footy. That umpire there on screen said play on. Tom Roberts sends a burner down inside forward 50. Now there a chance here. This SFL must kick this goal, and does. Luke Potter has 2 1/4, and the margin is back to, what is it, Peach?
16 points.
14 points.
Sorry, yes, I beg your pudding, 14 points. See the replay here. Luke Potter had the easiest transition. A couple of turnovers from both teams, and in the end it resulted in Luke Potter all by himself in the right forward pocket and ran into an open goal. So 14 points of difference. There's 10 minutes left. There's oodles of time. It's incredible. There's oodles of time. And like the SFL have been in this game for most of it. The first 5 minutes, the Old Scholars, and then for probably 10 minutes in that third quarter, the Old Scholars dominated. And Alex Gilmore's accuracy on goal has given them the lead. But
getting the 6-6-6 sorted here, Peach.
As Tubes Taylor leans out of the van. Adams lays some pressure. A little hold. It might be a free kick here to Jonathan Bullock here for the Southern Football League. In the middle of North Hobart, kicks it high. It's not the best kick. Holton to beat 2. Couldn't. Bierman tackled by... Oh, holding the footy.
Well, he did just drop it, and I'll tell you what...
He did have the biggest guy on the ground from Callum Garvey. He's just in the wrong spot at the wrong time.
The smallest man on the field.
We'll just see in the replay. It was just needed to be a bit further out. I reckon that's unlucky.
Yeah, no.
50-50, 50-50. Not a bad decision from the umpire.
Callum Garvey, the nicest bloke in the world. He's so
say
quiet.
Much, Callum,
He's so quiet.
Yeah, I thought he was pretty quiet.
I love him, though.
Just before the game, he was one of the guys that was sort of sitting back in the change rooms as he's now in the ruck contest. He wins that one over Siggins. Running past was Marty Allison. He's been in and out of the contest at different stages. One player who's been in a lot of contests is Cameron Johns.
Yep.
He's the last man out in the blue there, being helped up by Narco. Look out for Duff with the long sleeves pulled up. Siggins wins that ruck contest. Gets to Bullock. Loose ball. Kobe Phillips with a fist. Finds Dunn. Dunn slips over. You'll need to release that. Narco for the SFL. Goes backwards. Finds Marty Allison. High kick. Looking for Holton in front position. The punch from the back. It went past Roberts. Oh, that could have been holding the foot. He just got away. The umpire's called it. Now Holt's going to play on here. He's going to chip it further afield. Tommy Roberts in the pocket, but going back as he needed to. Nathan Hardy. We've called him a lot. We've called him again.
He is a dour defender with the...
You'd hate him as a forward, wouldn't you, to have Nathan Hardy line up on you at the start of the game, because you know you'd be in for a really tough game.
Go, I'm not you again, geez. Anyway, ruck contest. Holton, Garvey wins it down. Daft gets tackled hard. Potter's in there. Garvey goes in, buries his head, and we'll see a ball up.
He was like a gerbil then, Garvey. He was just sort of landed on top and just buried himself in. It has just slowed a little bit, and that helps the Southern Footy League, I reckon. It's become a little bit more congested. That's a hole. It's really a high tackle on Potter as Garvey just taller. Roberts in the corner, sticks the ball into the air. That's close. That's a magnificent goal. Potter has got the SFL back in with 7 minutes left.
Tom Roberts.
He was from Wright Street. He was in the middle of Wright Street then. He might get fined for being in the middle of Wright Street and kicked a beauty.
An absolute ripper, and the margin now down to 8 points.
And look how cool he looks. He doesn't say a lot either.
He just sits there and goes, yeah, I'm playing for you.
I interviewed him last year. I don't think he wanted to. I was told to do a bit of roving interview. Just see this on the Mood Food replay. Look at this. That's Jacamanis like it against Geelong about 12 years ago in the wet at the Gabba. One of the best goals I've ever seen. Well, that is in the list. Now, there's a free kick here. So they got the 6. You were saying 666.
Anyway, out it comes, down in the forward line. Callanan off to Langford. Langford low and hard down to Gilmore. And this one will go over the line.
What's changed, Tubes, is that they've had a bit more pressure on the kicking. And obviously, the Old Scholars are still in front. Gilmore hasn't had easy, uncontested marks because there's been a second player on him at times, but also there's been pressure on the kicker.
Certainly has. Boundary throw-in. Garvey, Siggins. Garvey wins it. Siggins wins it down, rather. Out to Cohen. Cohen with Phillips. Out of bounds. Jono Bullock has been good.
Yeah, he's very serviceable today. That's probably an unfair word to use, serviceable. He's been excellent.
So right on the forward 50 for the Old Scholars. Siggins and Garvey do battle again. Down it comes. Phillips gets a hand in. Out it comes to Callanan. Callanan spins out of trouble. Little underground hand pass, sees it out of bounds.
Toby Cowan, I'm just trying to find his age here. We'll look it up in a sec.
19.
He is. I saw him last year a few times, and he had serviceable games, and then he had just started to shine. Late in the year, he had a really good game against New Norfolk down at Cygnet. He is really moving into one of the better midfielders in the Southern Footy League.
Yep.
And I thought he was more of a half-forward sort of player, but he's now got the tank and energy to get into the middle of the ground. As Garvey in the ruck again, he's pretty much... These two have rucked against it. We've loved this for the last 35 minutes as a party in front position. Couldn't get it. Standard just stays on that one as a party. Standard gets the ball knocked out of his hands. Daft just threw the ball into the air. Could this be the response from Al Corso? And he throws his right fist into the air, and the Old Scholars get the lead back out to a couple.
Well, that's the breather they needed. Back to 14 points here.
Daft just so good at finding teammates in a better position.
He hasn't had a lot of the footy today.
No, he hasn't.
Below what we're used to seeing with him. But that was just a clever handball to a man running in space. Threw it out to a white flash of Claude Alcorso.
The John Stockton of the Old Scholars. There we go.
Smart. And
just
that man,
he lays little blocks. He dishes the ball up to players who have got an opportunity to score. Such an unselfish play, and he always has a lot of attention. You know what, Tubes? They've done it again.
Done it again. Another free kick. Our Corso's out here by himself. Someone needs to figure out what's going on down on the board.
No one was on the wing there. They had no winger.
That's a great kick. Harry Richmond couldn't quite get it. Our Corso, clever touch. Down towards...
Could the Southern Football League be the first team to be done in by the 666? Like, this leads to turn the game for them.
Well,
they were completely on top. They get a free kick. Garvey got a free kick and another one. Gets the ball forward and they kick a goal against the run of play when the Southern Footy League were dominating via Jake Siggins. Jack Siggins gets it again. Knocks the ball further afield. Look out for Callum Rawson again. Holt lays a tackle, probably high. And no, it's not, so neutralised there on centre wing as Adam Daff looked like he might have copped one around the ears. And he gets back up again and will go into the contest. I'm sure he's expired some energy. 13 or 14 Ks, probably he's covered. Cleverly. Onto Theodore James. Bierman He's just on the edge of this one. The other number 16 for the SFL gets it away. That's Cook. Now it's into Michael Fisher's hands. His kick is good to Phillips.
He never wastes it.
Phillips quickly plays on. Kicks a 1-on-1. Looked like Callan tried to win it. Harry Richmond. He's got some pressure from Cameron Johns. And the boundary line is the winner on that occasion.
Well, like you said, Peach, it's been a momentum swing, really. And those 2 free kicks out of the middle of the ground after goals
completely stuck the energy out of the Southern Footy League.
Boundary throw in. Out it comes for Richmond. Richard just drops it.
Should be holding the football. Yes, it is.
Now Marty Allison plays on quickly. Sends it long to Potter. Potter marks in front of the man who's been with him all day. Handball's off to Livingston. Livingston sends it long towards Cassidy. Cassidy's just made
Cassidy needs to put his hands out in front of him. He's such a good player. Just now and again, he just needs to stick his hands out and take the mark just in front of his chest.
Nice mark right on his toes there for Brad Joseph. So right in the middle of North Hobart Oval. I think that is it, and it is. The siren goes and the Old Scholars win the very first battle between the SFL and the Old Scholars by 14 points. 111 to 97. SFL
Old Scholars Football Association, 17.
Wasted a few opportunities, as we know, Peach, but we'll quickly go through the goal kickers. Alex Gilmore kicked 9. Caden Wilson with 3. Jake Briggs with 2. Claudel Corso with an absolute gem. Ian Callanan and Louis Franks with 1 apiece. And for the old SFL, it was 3 apiece to Marcus Parker and Tom Roberts, and 2 to Luke Potter, Jai Bierman, and singles to Marty Allison, Michael Cassidy, Theodore James and Ben Holton. A great game of footy though, Peach.
Yeah, really enjoyable. Lovely to see these 2 teams. Have been talking about it for some time, that they're going to get back and have a contest. And now finally it's happened. And respective teams, we see who is the best team.
That's Braden Barwick, who is injured.
He's certainly done. You'd said his elbow, didn't you?
Yeah,
so
extended. I went and talked to him. He said it was a hyperextension of his elbow. He's not sure how long, whether he's done any damage to it.
Okay, so he'll need to wait for the swelling to stop. But just look, the bragging rights are definitely with the Old Scholars. But I thought the SFL had lots of opportunities. There's nice camaraderie here. Cassidy and Jai County and others come in and have a chat. Let's hope they maybe go and have a beer with each other at the end, because it'd be nice. And I think these players swap competitions a little bit, so they know each other relatively well. And it was talked up more by Ben Beams and others, I reckon.
Yeah, it was. 26 scoring shots to 27. That's how even it was.
Yeah, and in the end, the late goal and a couple of turnovers, a 6-6-6. But I might just mention a few of the players that were better. Just firstly, for the Southern Footy League, Luke Potter, the Claremont leader, he was good. He tried hard. It was a really good battle. He had Joseph on him at different stages. It was a great contest with Nathan Hardy as well. I think he was good. Toby Cowan, the Signet lad in the middle of the ground, was nearly one of their better players. They did lose a couple of players through the game. Cameron Johns off half-back and Marty Allison. He went into the middle and then he moved half-back. He was an influencer. Jai Bierman, the youngster, we mentioned him a few times. He kicked a goal. Tom Roberts late started to work them back into the game. And probably Theodore James, I thought he was exceptionally good throughout. Just didn't quite have enough from their staff forwards, who maybe dropped a couple of marks and missed a few set shots we saw in that third quarter.
And for the Old Scholars, I think it was obviously led by Alex Gilmore, who kicked 9 goals. But through the middle, I thought that Kobe Phillips was immense. Had some support with Claudel Corso. Running off half-back was Louis Franks. I thought he was very good. But down back, every time it went down there, Chris Howard and Nathan Hardy, the 2 boys from university, were very, very good.
Yeah,
very
totally
good.
agree. Blake Anderton too in halfback.
Blake Anderton. Brad Joseph as well. He was excellent on Luke Potter, who played a pretty reasonable game.
That was the matchup of the game, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Probably 50-50 in the end, even though I thought Luke Potter was so good.
Yeah. So now that the heat's gone out of this game, we look back. I've had a time to take a breath.
Well, I'll tell you what we will say is that 14 goals kicked by the Southern Football League. They kicked 1 last year.
Yeah,
so they've improved.
That's true.
Now, we're being a little bit tongue-in-cheek there, but they've certainly had a big improvement. The most important thing is the Southern Football League's best players came today.
Yeah.
The coaches were involved and engaged. The game was a little early, and that certainly helped teams prepare and maybe less risk going into finals. And we've seen a couple of injuries, so hopefully those players are going to be fit and ready come the back end of the season. Yeah. But there's a really good spirit, I think, in both camps, and certainly the Old Scholars have probably been chatting and been talking themselves up in cafes and maybe pubs around Hobart when they run into some of the Southern Football League players who go, I reckon we're better. Well, how do we know until we have a game?
I'll tell you what, what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing old Scholars footy clubs come together, and you see Troy Stewart getting around Brodie Langford. You see Ben Beams cuddling up with Louis Franks and Claudel Corso. That stuff does not happen during the season, and this is great for their competition.
There's a healthy rivalry, isn't there, in the Old Scholar? It's a really genuine. There's some players that know each other as we just see Brodie Langford, I should say Jake Briggs, going off the ground first, taking them off. But it is the Old Scholars Football Association, 17-9-111. The Southern Football League, 14-13-97. In a very entertaining game here at North Hobart Oval. Well done to both competitions for enabling this game to happen. Thanks to Martin Duffy,
of course,
who's been great, and G-Funk, but a really thoroughly enjoyed coming along here today. Of course,
we must thank, of course, Jackson Motor Company and Bennett's Petroleum for getting us along, and, of course, the SFL and the Old Scholars. And thank you very much to you, Peach, for coming down from the north of the state. But that is it from us. My name is Tubes Taylor. You've been watching Duff TV. Until next time, take care and bye for now. The mark, and now they look to move the ball forward. Big kick up towards the big fella, Siggins. Siggins takes it at half-back. Now they zigzag the ball up the North Hobart Footy Oval. Out it comes there for Allison to Roberts. Roberts can kick it from here. He chips it up instead and goes down towards Potter, and Potter takes the mark in the pocket.
You mentioned his goal, his kicking for goal. I should say his decision-making. That was a precision kick, wasn't it? He looked, he took an extra couple of steps, he steadied.
Down towards Potter, and Potter takes the mark in the pocket.
You mentioned his goal, his kicking for goal. I should say, such a good set of hands. It was a really nice patch to play off half-back. Let's see what Luke Potter can do. Luke Potter can kick a goal. So Southern Footy League, the heartbeat is there, and if it's still there, there's some hope. High fives. They've certainly got the forwards that can win in a good footy team. He's coming from a good senior footy team in Norfolk too. So he's shining amongst some pretty useful footballers there. And he's directly in front. His opportunity to kick a second goal. And this will be 2 goals for the quarter. Very deliberate approach. He's kicked it. So Southern Footy League, the heartbeat increases. And they get back within... Let's hope we don't have a cold day, because this van isn't overly insulated, is it? No. Luckily, we're both a little insulated.
I'm well and truly insulated. Caden Wilson comes in, makes no mistake. He kicks his 3rd goal. He's had one in the first, the second, and first, third, and final terms. That margin back out to 26 points. That's
when there's about 20,000 people. Not when there's about 1,200. So there's actually probably 50. There's not a bad crowd here for those that are mocking this game. As they get one back here. So Tom Roberts has had an influence. He generally does. He looks very focused. But just getting back to the crowd, 1,500 plus is a real buzz to the left-hand side. There's not a bad...
Phillips, who's been quiet, tackled. That's a hold in the footy. That umpire there on screen said play on. Tom Roberts sends a burner down inside forward 50. Now there a chance here. This SFL must kick this goal, and does. Luke Potter has 2 1/4, and the margin is back to...
Kicks it high. It's not the best kick. Holton to beat 2. Couldn't. Bierman tackled by... holding the footy.
Well, he did just drop it, and I'll tell you what...
He did have the biggest goal. Landed on top and just buried himself in. It has just slowed a little bit, and that helps the Southern Footy League, I reckon. It's become a little bit more congested. That's a hole. It's really a high tackle on Potter as Garvey just taller. Roberts in the corner, sticks the ball into the air. That's close. That's a magnificent goal. Potter has got the SFL back in with 7 minutes left.
Tom Roberts.
He was from Wright Street. He was in the middle of Wright Street then. He might get fined for being in the middle of Wright Street and kicked the beauty. An absolute position. Couldn't get it. Stander just stays on that one as a party. Stander gets the ball knocked out of his hands. Daff just threw the ball into the air. Could this be the response from Al Corso? And he throws his right fist into the air, and the Old Scholars get the lead back out to a couple.
Well, that's... Boundary throw in. Out it comes for Richmond. Richmond just drops it.
Should be holding the football. Yes, it is.
Now Marty Allison plays on quickly. Sends it long to Potter. Potter marks in front of the man who's been with him all day. Airball's off to...